Hello all.
Hello.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us.
You might get your thumbs up over.
Oh, thumbs up. Okay, thumbs up everyone. I had minor surgery today. It's okay. It's just a cyst. And Joe's been doing all the dishes, so we're good.
You do.
He always does the dishes. So, no, the doctors were very nice. I couldn't believe there were two doctors, a nurse, and a technician all in the same room.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Joe,
Oh, yeah.
for just this little cyst on my thumb.
Man.
But I'll be reminding everyone, thumbs up. Thumbs up. Give a thumbs up. So, let's see. We've got Sparky Slag. Hi,
Hello,
Sparky.
Sparky.
John Marciano. And let's see. Dallas. Willie B. Michelle. Yep, sunny California. Rebecca Wise. Hi, Rebecca. And Jay. Thanks, Jay, for being a moderator. Star Paul. Hi, Star. Nadine. Nadine, you're nice and early. Seth. Alora. Thank you for all joining us. Thank you, Alora. Hope it heals up quickly. Yeah, it should. And let's see. Maverick. Hi, Maverick. Shaq. Hi, Shaq. So we've got a big program tonight. A lot of folks coming on that we invited. As you notice, the title is ExJW Convention Questions and Concerns.
Or conference questions
Yes.
and concerns. However way you want to look at it. Let us know how our sound is too, please. We'll do whatever we can to adjust.
Yeah, we just want to remember the friends in Texas that have been going through that terrible flooding.
Some serious loss.
Yeah, really feel bad, and
And
our hearts go out to them.
And incidentally, Texas is not the only place. Apparently, Mexico, New Mexico, as well as Mexico.
And Carolina?
I think, yeah, we saw some flooding in Carolinas. And Europe. And unless I'm mistaken, China is going through some very powerful flooding that they get basically every year, the monsoon, which they may be used to it, but it's so destructive. There's no way that they may be prepared for it at times, but this country wasn't prepared for it.
Okay, I'm just texting someone for the live. Okay, so you want to get right into the birthdays, because I know people are going to be waiting to come on. So our July birthdays.
Are they going to be up here?
Yeah, Shauna's going to put them on.
Oh, okay.
No, they're going to put them Okay. Let's see.
From the truck cam.
Yeah, okay, so just a sec here.
Was it Joe?
Frank, Adele. Too bad, Frank. Dear.
I'm just trying to load the birthdays up now.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. We see that Butterfly Queen is on. Hi, Butterfly and Skygram. Welcome.
I work till 9. Frank's at work till 9.
Okay.
Just one sec, guys. Sorry. Ruby, if you're listening, how do we share the screens on the mobile devices? If you know, I could use a hand here. So just give us one moment, please, Joe and Frank.
Yeah, take your time.
Thanks.
Be patient, friends. Everything's working fine.
Hi, and Joe and Fran. I don't know what happened to your hand, but get well soon. Just minor surgery, Maverick. Headache, cyst on the thumb.
Yeah, it was an irritating growth inside the thumb since
About
January.
6 months. Yeah, about 6 months.
We're sensitive to the touch. So finally, she had it out.
Yeah, every time I went to pick up something, it's right on the nerve, so it hurt.
Yeah.
So anyway.
I was there.
Yes.
I didn't watch.
No.
They asked me if I wanted to watch. I said, no, I'll just sit here.
But Joe was great support. Oh, he reminded me it was my left thumb, not my right thumb.
Yeah, this is interesting. The two surgeons, the assistant and the nurse were there, and they were reviewing. Now, we'll be operating on the right hand. And I said, left.
They actually wanted me to say it. And I'm the one that said right.
Okay,
and then you corrected me and you said left. I go, okay, we better start all over again.
Yeah.
But it turned out good.
Yeah.
Hi, Faded in San Diego. Glad you could join us. Let's see. We'll get to the birthdays soon. I don't think it was a ganglion cyst, Sky. It was just
no.
They said like a virus.
Right.
Cyst.
No.
We'll find out.
Ganglions, you can reduce them yourself. I've done that. If you like, it's on your wrist or whatever, you can smack it with a book or something, and it'll reduce them. I'm not a doctor, but it works.
That's right. Yes. Okay, we got the birthdays coming up.
Okay,
This is on ExJWFriends, in case you don't know. This is our website.
Birthdays this month. July 2nd, Cindy Quick and Sean Stinson. July 3rd, Cookout. July 4th, Gail Gigi Murphy and Benny Nat, Ruby's daughter. That was all July 4th. July 6th, Kimberly Lackner, Ryan Lee, Jeannie Jewell. July 7th, Jenny Diaz, Bo Benson, Nicole Goodyear. And July 8th, Hannah Chase, Rated Baldwin. July 9th, Becca Hulsinger, Missy Llewellyn, Jeannie Feaster.
That's today.
It's July 9th, today. July 9th, today. Happy birthday. Today. July 10th, JP, Jerry, Donna Caruth, our cousin. July 11th, Jove, Ruby's daughter. July 12th, James Winner. July 13th, Vera. July 16th, Sadia Wilson. July 17th, Susan Gills, David Potos, and David's son. July 18th, Nick Pinella and Chloe Saccott.
Nick is my brother.
July 19th, Jane Spitfire, Rick Fearon, James Oberman, and Isaac Miller, July 19th. July 20th, Irene. And July 21st, our friend Mark Geiger. And 21st, also Alora Mermaid. Can you see her?
Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
July 22nd, Al Reno and Quinton. July 23rd, Melinda Leach. July 24th, Deanna. July 26th, Karen. July 28th, Angela Busmonte. July 29th, Sparky Slag.
All
Happy
right.
birthday, all.
Happy birthday.
We got a birthday song.
And anniversaries.
Yep, anniversaries
This month.
for July.
July 11th, Dwight and Monica Kincaid. Happy anniversary.
If we have any more anniversaries in July, please let us know, or birthdays, please let us know in the chat. July 21st isn't my birthday, but I'll celebrate it. Oh, sorry about that, Alora. Can you tell us when it is? I don't know how we got that mixed up, but we'll make sure we change
Well,
it.
if anything can be mistaken, it will be. Sorry about that.
July. Yeah, we'll correct that, Alora. All right, anyone else? Hey, Fada, did you mean on Facebook? Or if so, yes, I am. Gigi. Hi, Gail. Thank you for joining. And any new ones here? Jane Spitfire. Hi, Jane.
Hello, Jane.
Job is my son for July 11th. Correction.
Did we?
How did we say that wrong? Did we say July
That
11th
was
for Ruby? July
11th?
11th. Job. Okay, we'll check it out. Thank you so much for the correction. And all right, looks like they're coming in. And so you want to talk a little bit about what's happening before?
Yeah.
Or should we do more of the ExJW Friends
On the
website?
Friends website.
Yeah, if we could. Let's see, Shauna, are you able to go back to the website? There's a few more announcements on there. There's a new meetup. So we did the anniversaries, we did the birthdays.
And the meetups?
The meetups, still alive in 2025, the ExJW.
That's what we'll be discussing tonight.
Yes. There's a new one on the website. Saturday, August 16th in Daytona.
Daytona Beach ExJW meetup. Wow. Copperline Coffee, Daytona Beach, Florida.
And,
we will do something.
Yeah, that's someone who recently came out is putting this on. Our friend in Florida. Did he have his name on there?
Don't know. Copperline Coffee.
But anyway, yeah, he's newly out and he's having a meetup. So please support him if you're in the Daytona Beach area.
Okay, in September this year, Friday 26th, September 26th, 6 p.m. and September 27th at 12 a.m., Las Vegas, Nevada, Nevada ex-Jehovah's Witness meetup. September 26th.
Yeah, 2 days it's going to be.
Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Bowling and Velocity Sports in Las Vegas building, units 171, Las Vegas. Dinner after bowling.
There you go. That sounds like fun. Yeah, we haven't been bowling in a long time. Of course, well, I don't bowl with this hand.
You'll do fine.
Thumbs up, everyone. Thumbs up. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that was Morgan who's putting that meetup in Daytona Beach. He's newly out and he's in Florida. So please, if you're in the Daytona Beach area, go and support Morgan. He's doing really well, just leaving the organization, going to school for being a therapist.
Meetups. And of course, meetups are the way that you come to know friends. But there's considerations for these meetups. because they require your being careful and considerate, because there's potential problems, as with any situation.
Mhm. Yeah, there was an instance, we will not mention names
No,
or
no names.
location, but there was a meetup. It was a small group of people, and some people, before the meetup, there was a group that met. It was just a couple of people. And one of the ex-sisters that was going to join the meetup, she came in, and when she saw one of the persons there, her face turned white. Come to find out, the person that was there was someone who had abused her 20 years ago. So she wrote a note to the person that was heading the meetup and told him, and he excused himself. And they broke it up because it was not a good situation. So sometimes those things can happen. So it's good to be alert, careful of who's there, because not everyone that's there may have good intentions. And we never had a problem at any of ours so far.
No.
And that's why we're going to talk about that tonight. We're inviting Rick Fearon, and Barbara Anderson is coming on, and Stephanie Lynn Carson, Gary. They're going to be joining us in a little while.
See, we always hope for the best, with the best of intentions, to have good outcomes. That's just what we always hope for. But reality is that so many circumstances can turn things sour. We need to be aware of that. We need to be alert to it. And then beyond that, we need to know really how to handle it. And this is where experience comes in. The experience you can gain from others who've been through it. And sometimes there is no preparation for some things that happen.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that more.
Yeah.
With the meetup in Massachusetts coming up. It's coming up soon, and we just want to say hello to Thomas Hudson. It's always great to hear you both and others out there well. And Thomas is going to be in Tewksbury. Linda Lawton, thank you for joining us. Marissa and Kev, hello. Thank you. We met Marissa and Kev when we were out in California, and that was such a nice meetup.
It was a great time. Great
We
people.
met Keith and also Nadine. JP was there. It was a great time. And also a pasta babe. We got to meet her. So yeah, meetups are great. And that's what we want to continue promoting, and having that positive influence at any meetup. Okay, let's see. Laura was wondering what happened to my hand. I had a minor surgery today. I had a cyst removed on my thumb, but it's doing okay, Laura. Thank you for asking. We appreciate that. Okay, so do we have anyone backstage yet? We're not having any videos tonight. We want to get right into our topic for tonight. We're waiting for Rick to come on. Nadine, here's Nadine. Hi, Nadine.
Hello,
Hi.
Nadine.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can hear you and see
Okay.
you. You look beautiful.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I combed my hair, and I kind of like used my hot brush
Oh, looks
so I
nice.
would look okay on camera.
You look
It
beautiful.
worked. It worked.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Well, I just wanted to come on early. I have a surprise that I want to tell you.
Okay.
Okay, I am going to Boston.
Hey.
I'm booked.
Good.
Oh, wow.
I'm booked, and so I'm pretty excited. I'm a little nervous. I'm not
We are
gonna
too.
lie, I'm a little nervous,
We
but
are too.
I have a really early flight on the 31st. So
Okay.
So I should be there in the afternoon. So I just wanted to let everybody know, let you know, and then I want to
Congratulations.
I know Rick's not on, but I wanted to let Rick know.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think he's going to be.
Yeah, he'll be on
He said he was
shortly.
going to be.
Okay.
Yeah, Rick's
Faded.
going to be on. Hi, Faded.
Yes, so good. Nice to know,
So
Nadine.
then you'll be able to get the shuttle.
Oh, yes.
Good.
Yes. I talked with Rick about it and he reassured me because that was one of my concerns.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Yeah, that shuttle's
so,
a great,
anyway,
great bet.
yeah.
Yeah, good, good.
Yeah,
It'll be
so
nice.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And
Well, we'll be there supporting each other.
That's what I was going to ask. I'm glad
Right.
you came on, Nadine, because we were going to ask if anyone else is flying. What airport are you going to be flying out of?
LAX.
LAX. If anyone else is flying out of LAX Thursday morning to come to Boston, you can let us know, and we can give the message to Nadine because she would really like to be able to travel with someone. Have you ever flown before?
I have. I flew twice when I was 19. And then in March, I actually, for the first time in years, I flew to Las Vegas. But that was it. But that was only 39 minutes. So this is going to be an experience. I've never been on a plane for this long, or the only other state I've been in is Nevada, just California and Nevada. And when I was 2 years old, which I don't remember, we went to Minnesota, but I don't remember any of that. But so this is only my fourth time on a plane. And it's going to be, quite a few hours. So
Yeah.
I'm a little bit anxious, but maybe I can make a friend on the plane.
Sure you can. You're very friendly, Nadine.
Well, the pilot will be your friend for one thing.
And the
I sure
stewardess.
hope
And
so.
yes, you
Yes,
will.
they're very
He will.
nice.
Okay, I sure hope so. And
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah,
Let's
just-
remember that.
Just let them know that it's your first time flying a distance like that, and they'll watch for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because 39 minutes wasn't bad.
Right.
And I was really nervous for the 39 minutes, but then
Uh-huh.
coming back, I felt more relaxed because
Yeah.
I experienced it going there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a lot further.
Right.
So-
Are you having a layover?
No, it's going to be direct.
Wow.
So how long will it be, Nadine?
I think it's like 5 hours and 47 minutes or something like that.
Well, that's about how long it's going to take us to drive there.
Wow.
I know, but I feel safer in a car for some reason.
You might be safer in the airplane.
Well, yeah.
Honestly.
Let me see.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Really?
Well,
Well,
let me
good
see
news.
how far.
And like
It may not be quite 5
like
hours.
I say, we'll be there and we'll be supporting each other.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited to see you both again and excited to see everybody, on the chat. Whoever's coming from on the chat on Six Screens, that will be great to meet everyone in person.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes,
I truly look forward to that.
Yes, I know Gigi's going to be there. Jeannie Jewel. I know a lot. Thomas is going to be there. There's a lot here.
Yeah.
Okay.
You mean girl Gigi?
Yeah, girl.
Not
not Gigi.
Not guy Gigi.
Not guy Gigi.
I really wish Guy Gigi was going to go
I
because
know.
it would make me feel a little bit more maybe relaxed. I don't know.
Yeah.
If I had somebody to fly with, even JP, that would be amazing, but
I
he's not
know.
going.
I know. I wish he could come too.
Right. I wish, everybody
That's
could go.
I know. Well, we'll see if there's anyone coming again, flying out of LAX. What time does your flight leave?
6 a.m.
Okay. 6 a.m.
Yeah.
LAX.
So my daughter's going to bring me to the airport and she goes, "Do you realize what time we're going to have to go?" And I said, "I know, but I said, at least there won't be traffic." you know,
Oh,
from
good.
That's true.
from Orange County to LA. So, and
And-
I've never been to LAX. And then she kind of laughed and said, "You've never been to LAX?" And I'm like, "No." Like I've never even driven by there. So,
I hear it's big.
right. And I hope I can find my way around. But
People
Anyway.
are very friendly. Anybody in the airport, that you
Mhm.
ask, they're usually pretty friendly.
yeah,
So you let us know.
I'm
Like,
hoping
yeah.
so.
And when you can, Nadine, if you want,
Just text it.
text us your flight.
I will.
That way we'll be
Yeah.
able to keep track.
So you'll be coming in on Thursday.
Yes, I'll be
Okay.
coming in on Thursday, and then once I get there, then the shuttle will come there, and I want to get settled in the hotel room before it gets, late. And of course, I'll be 3 hours. Well,
That's right.
it'll be 3 hours fast forward
Yeah.
Right.
when I
Yeah.
get there, but it'll feel like, I don't know, it might feel the same because if I have to get up really early,
Yeah,
I may
yeah.
not even be able to sleep. I don't know, because
No.
we'll have to leave really early. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm excited. So
Well, good. Well, we are too. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yes.
Here's Rick, Nadine.
Hello, Rick.
Hello,
oh, hi, Rick.
Nadine, you want to tell Rick your good news?
I don't see Rick, but anyways,
Yeah.
Rick, can you hear me?
Yeah. Do you see him? You don't see
You
the
don't see Rick?
screen?
No, I don't see Rick.
Okay. Can you see the
I
screen?
can see that, yeah.
Do you see us, Nadine?
No, where are you guys?
Oh,
We're on the screen. So
the
how did
screen.
you get on? Are
Wait a
you on?
minute. Can you see me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you can? Well, what do I push to see you guys?
Okay. Just do you have like 3 dots?
3 dot.
No,
I,
it's not.
no,
No.
let's see.
No, it's somewhere that it
I
should.
can see you and hear you. Yeah,
You can see me?
I can see you,
let's-
Nadine. Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't matter, but I just wanted to tell you, Rick, I am booked and I'm coming to Boston.
I don't
Are
know.
you able to hear Rick? I think you got frozen. Rick, can you hear us?
No, I guess not.
Could you
Let's-
hear me, Fran?
Yes,
Yes,
we can hear
you.
you.
Oh, okay.
I think Rick got turned to Ruby. If you're there, maybe we can use some help. Okay, Ruby, we can't hear Rick.
I see his mic is on, so he's good. He just has to say something. Say something, Rick.
I can hear you. Yep.
There you
Okay.
go. Good.
Hi, Rick. Hi, Rick. Can you hear me?
He's having a hard time hearing.
Oh, no.
Well, Rick, Rick, can you hear us?
I can hear you, Joe. Yes.
But you can't hear Nadine, apparently.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me make an adjustment here.
Nadine, somehow you can see everybody. Nadine is probably on a mobile device and it might be small.
I am. But that's okay. As long as Rick can hear me, that's fine.
I can hear you, Nadine. Yep.
There
Oh,
you go.
hi, Rick. I just wanted to let you know that I am coming to Boston and I'm booked.
I can hear. Yeah. I can hear Nadine.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
So I'm gonna be there, Rick.
I don't think
Maybe
you
there's a
can.
lag.
Wow, it just doesn't seem like there's a connection.
Rick, can you hear us? I think there's either a
Lag, so he needs to come on StreamYard. So if he can just view it from StreamYard and not YouTube, maybe he'll be synced.
what does he have to do, Ruby?
StreamYard, not YouTube.
Yeah, to come on StreamYard and just watch it from StreamYard. He'll see everybody on.
Okay. All right. Let me send him the link for StreamYard. I thought I did.
Yeah.
Well, just be
Yeah,
patient.
I can hear you.
Yeah, Rick, I think if you can be on just on StreamYard, it'll work out better.
Ruby, is there a link for StreamYard? we need to have a link in the chat for StreamYard. There it is. Okay. So if anyone is on YouTube and you're in the live chat, you just click on the StreamYard and Ruby will bring you in. Okay, we'll get this together. Don't worry. Hang in there, everyone. And
Can Rick hear me now?
No, he's off now. When you do come on StreamYard, then you have to close out YouTube and turn on your mic.
Okay. I just went on what you sent me. Am I on StreamYard?
Yes, you
Okay,
are.
perfect.
But because your phone is small, you can't see everybody.
I know. It's okay.
Okay. Well, great. Let's see. Barbara Anderson is supposed to come on. And Stephanie, Lynn Carson, and Gary Alt. I might have to send them I might have to get to them.
Okay, I think you can hear me now.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Rick. We
Okay,
got
hi, Rick.
Can you keep things?
Yeah, I didn't have the link, so I'm all set now, yeah.
Okay, Rick, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can, Nadine.
Okay. I'm booked and I'm coming to Boston, and I wanted to let you know.
Well, thank you, Nadine. We're looking forward to seeing you. My goodness gracious, you're going to be the star of the show.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you, Rick. I don't know about that, but I am excited. I'm excited.
We're looking forward to meeting you in person, Nadine. It'll be wonderful. Yes.
Yes, I can't wait. I can't wait to meet you and Susan and everybody. I'm
Oh,
really
it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing.
And Barbara Anderson and, everybody who's going to be there. I'm excited.
Well, when you go home, Nadine, you're going to feel like Dorothy that went to the Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
You say, what is going on here? You'll never forget it, I'll tell you.
Yeah. I'm just curious. Can you see me? Because I can't see you.
I can't see you. I can see Joe and Fran, yeah?
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
Nadine,
Well, I just wanted to let you know, that, everything is good and I'm all booked.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Thank you for doing that. My goodness.
Yes.
so we can have a nice opportunity to review some of the things that are going to take place here too, Rick. So I think that'll be great for everybody to look forward to.
I can see you now, Nadine.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. Hi. I'm gonna wave to you, Rick.
All right, yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you for coming on the program tonight. That's good. We could be on and talk a little bit about what's going on.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, there is tremendous interest in the program, Rick, and so we've got some questions about it, and we're open to finding out some of the interesting things that you've got in store too. So
I'm going to say goodbye for now, but I just wanted to come on and tell Rick personally and Fran and Joe that I am booked. And thank you for your encouragement for all of you, for all three of you.
Absolutely, Nadine.
Yes.
Good to hear. We'll be back to you.
Okay. All right. Okay. Bye-bye, everybody.
Good to see you. Bye now. Thanks for coming on, Rick.
Yeah, well, you're very welcome, Joe. I've been looking forward to coming on and being able to talk to you and your audience. And, when we're moving forward, I just got off the phone with the band. We got an 8-piece band coming.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, we got an 8-piece band. Plus, we have a man that's going to open up the Friday session. He's a former Jehovah's Witness. His name is Alan Smith. And I just got learning a lot about him. I didn't realize the position he could have had in the music world if he stayed with it. What he did was he was a commuter Bethelite, and he was a good high-tech man. And what happened is he was going back and forth to Bethel, and they didn't really want him to be in the entertainment world. But he's a very talented musician. And what it was a record company, evidently, that was promoting him. And he was climbing the ladder of his musical success. And he was starting to really get in the groove, so to speak. Sly and the Family Stones, Larry Graham, Of course, he was a former, he's a witness even to this day, but he was in Sly and the Family Stones. But Alan Smith gave up his position as a singer because Watchtower talked him out of it so that he could spend most of his time with them. But come to find out, the company that was promoting him, the second person that they were going to promote if Alan ever dropped out was Prince. And Prince went on to be a big time star, as we all know, you know.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Well, we look forward to meeting him.
Yeah.
That's great. So what night's that going to be, Rick?
Well, he's going to be on the program Saturday night.
On the program.
On the program as well. You'll see him singing Saturday night. We got a talent show. We got a bunch of people. We'll be doing talent, and we'll be seeing how so many ex-witnesses, Joe, really were talented people, but they really couldn't continue on with it, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's so nice to know. Is there any preview of any of them or any kind of maybe just run down what they'll be?
As far as who they are?
Yeah, well, what to expect, a little bit of what to expect.
At the convention?
Yeah, in other words, singing, dancing.
Yeah, what we're gonna do in fact, let me get into my program here.
Barbara's coming
I
on.
can
in
read
about
you some of
2
the
minutes. Romy, maybe 20 minutes.
Let me get into my program here. We'll share some things with you. Yeah.
We were just talking about a performer who's an ex, and he'll be opening or having a part of the program performing Saturday night.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, nice.
Yeah, what we have here on Friday morning, beginning at 9 o'clock in the morning, this Alan Smith, he was a very talented man, as I was just telling Joe Fran.
Yes.
And he's going to be playing live music as the audience is coming in Friday morning. And he, at one time, he could have gone on to be a very successful musician without any question of a doubt. But Watchtower really discouraged him from moving forward. He was working as a commuter Bethelite, and he was a really intelligent man when it came to high tech. And he helped the Watchtower with some of the high tech developments. And consequently, they talked him out of being a musician. But the company, as I was just saying to Joe and your audience, the company that actually was promoting Alan Smith, they were trying to make him a big star because he had that much talent. But he dropped out because of the Watchtower influence. And the man that was second in line was Prince. And Prince went on to be a big rock star, you know?
Yes, he did. Yes,
that could have been Alan, yeah. But to give you an idea, I give you a rundown of what's going on at the convention. If you want to hear it, Joe Fran.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So, anyways, on Friday morning, we're going to have a meet and greet session, and I think this is very good. What we're trying to do here, what we're trying to achieve, we're trying to get everyone on the same page. You know, I don't want people to come and be nervous and I'm having anxiety. I want everyone on the same page. So on Friday morning, beginning at 9:30, everyone's going to have an opportunity to talk. Now, if they really want to speak, you have to register. Susan is we have an information desk, and my wife Susan is going to be there. So if someone really wants to talk for upwards of 10 minutes, register to make sure you do get a slot because there's so many people coming. Now, at the end of everyone who registered gets to speak first, and then we'll open the lines up to anyone else. But that's going to take a good 2.5 hours at least. So for the morning session, we're just going to be having a meet and greet, where people are from, why they came, how they feel about the Watchtower today, and just to kind of open it up because a lot of people will be traveling in as well. But it's going to be a really good session. People are going to get to know some of the people. So we're looking forward to that. So that's going to be meet and greet. And then after that session's over, we're going to go on to the program for the rest of the day. And what it is we have a chairman. Everyone, I'm trying to write a bio here, and you'll get the latest stuff. It's like writing a book. But I want it to be more than just a program. I want it to be like a little playbill, like a little folder that gives a little bio on everyone that's coming. So the chairman, he's going to introduce the session Friday morning around 9:30. And his name is Norman Moreau. And Norman Moreau is from this area. And he never was one of Jehovah's Witnesses, but he's considered a critic. He's considered an opposer. And he's tried so diligently for years to get his sister and brother-in-law out of the witnesses. But what he did is he got all the books. You should see the books from Watchtower that he has, a big, big collection, doing research, trying to unbelievably work so hard to get his brother-in-law and sister-in-law out. But he's failed with that. His brother's a pretty big elder up this way. So he's going to talk for about 5 minutes on who he is. I want the audience to know everybody. I want them to kind of know in advance who these people are. And at 9:30, I will come on, give some important announcements. And of course, I'm going to announce that there is a movie company, a film company out of Spain that will be with us. And I'm giving people the necessary precautions that they would want to take if they don't want to be in the movie. So we have different options they can have. So they won't have to be in the movie if they don't want to be. But if they want to be, they also can. I already have a number of people writing me and saying, Rick, I want to be interviewed. I want to be in the movie. So I got a number of people that will be in contact with the people, the producers and the directors. They actually have a 10 to 12 man crew that's coming in from Spain. So they'll be there, and I'll be able to answer any questions there at the announcements people have about the film.
Yeah, I guess that was one of the considerations, if they would be actively filming right there, and when.
Yeah, well, they're going to, they've already talked to me about it, that they're aware of the fact that, there's many Jehovah's Witnesses, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses that feel a little uneasy about that. And but there will be provisions. We have 3 different options, or 3 different ways that they don't have to participate. We're going to have an area, it might even be a room, just set off specifically for those that don't want to be filmed.
That's
So
good. That'll be helpful.
So that will be one option. Another option is if people want to be in the auditorium, they don't want to miss anything. And we do have masks. Now, I know it might look crazy, but, Jehovah's Witnesses, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, I should say, they get a little skittish about it, and I can understand it. They might want to be in there, but we do have masks. So that's another option. And then also I have a neon sign, very similar to the one behind me here, that is red, that says on the air, live on the air. When that sign comes on, it's going to be bright red neon. A person will have 2 minutes or maybe a little more to go ahead and leave the auditorium where the filming is going to take place. So there's precautions in place, and all these tickets I'm sending out now, there's an attachment right to them that gives them a little rundown on what to do with the movie film, with the filming company. Yeah.
Great.
If I can
Great.
just interrupt, we want to introduce Stephanie Lynn Carson and Brian. And Stephanie goes by Willow Rose Grace. And they're going to be at the meetup also. So if anyone has any questions or thoughts, please go ahead, Rick. You were still telling about what's going to happen.
Yeah, let's go back to that. So anyways,
And the point, and excuse me, and Stephanie or Brian, just jump in whenever you feel the need to
If you have,
interject
if
anything.
you have a question
Thank
or
you.
thought too.
Thank you. Yeah, Rick, we appreciate all the hard work you're doing on making this gathering for all of us. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Stephanie. It's really something. I mean, I really have been enjoying it. It's a little more work than I thought, but because you have to have so many things in place. You have to have audio equipment, video equipment. You got to make sure the sound is good, because the Hilton doesn't have that. So we have to have our own PA system, our own monitors.
Wow.
They don't have a stage. We built a stage. We had to build a drummer stand. So we've been doing all of that and putting this all together. And it's really overwhelming to see the response that we've been getting. I'm really pleased. I really didn't, when we first started this, I didn't think that we were going to get the response that we're getting. But it's just amazing.
Yeah, I think with the world affairs, we're also hungry to connect with people that, you know, are can see the world in the same way as us.
Yeah, in fact, many people, when I was on the phone today with a woman, and my wife Susan and I, she's working along with me here. For the last, I'd say 3 weeks, every night, we have telephone interviews with people who want to come on. And in some of the stories, I can't believe it myself that people are calling us up and telling us about. It's like, I can't believe some of these stories. And I know you have a very difficult story to tell as well, Stephanie, but some of the stuff that I've been hearing, it's just, and in fact, I tell the people, I don't think we can even bring you on. Some of the
Hard
stuff
to believe how dark the organization is. And I think we're all ready to hear it. I think the world is ready to hear it too.
Yeah, in fact, the night that you came on, Stephanie, well, the night we had Star on, the girl as well that was trafficked as a former Jehovah's Witness when she was a young girl, that night she came on, and I got a lot of people that were naysayers, oh, come on, Rick, you're sensationalizing, you're making this up. But we had 3 other women call in that same night. Same night, they called in, and they mentioned that the same thing happened to them. So it had some credibility.
Can I tell the audience a little story about one of the girls that called in that evening was actually still in a trafficking situation involving Watchtower, and the investigators that are working with Travis Walker Law were notified, and within 35 minutes they had an exit strategy for that young woman and her children, and we've been able to help with their assistance to get her into safe housing that's structured for trafficking victims. They all have a lot of healing to do, and it's just amazing the resources that are out there for survivors. And we're just very lucky to have made that connection with these people that genuinely want to help.
Well, it's fantastic what you're doing too, Stephanie. It's really great because, I never really heard. Now, I've been doing this program for 20 years. And, we talked about child abuse and pedophilia, but never about the subject you came and talked about, you and Star. So it kind of opened up a whole new evil side of the Watchtower. Unbelievable.
Yes, very evil. Well, continue on with your programming. This is
okay. Yeah. So anyways, what we do is we have that meet and greet session, and that's going to go till lunch break. And trust me when I tell you, I used to go to the Witnesses Now for Jesus convention, and they would have maybe 50 to 80 people there. And they would do this meet and greet in the morning. And some people couldn't even get in because everyone has a story to tell. So that's why I say if a person really wants to speak up during that meet and greet, register at the information desk with my wife, and she'll make sure you get a slot. And then if there's time after that, we'll bring you on. And then even Sunday morning, if people hang around, they can have another shot then. But then we go down to lunch break. That's going to happen at 12:30 on Friday. Now, I just wanted to mention there's a lot of, if you don't want to eat at the Hilton, the Hilton, it's expensive. I mean, a hamburger, they probably cost you $20, right? So, I mean, we have a little shuttle bus that I've got, and we're going to shuttle people back and forth. It's not far. You could even walk to it, probably a 5 or 10 minute walk. But we're going to have a little bus, maybe a couple of vans actually, a little shuttle. We'll take you down. There's a Wendy's, a McDonald's, a Circle K. We can get a hot dog and some chips and a Coke. There's a Cracker Barrel. There's a lot of little restaurants around there. So it can give people a little break. They can kind of get away from the convention for a little bit. So then we come back at 1:30, and we have a musical interlude that's going to play for a half hour. So they'll be playing before we meet again. And the name of the group is called Still Here. I mean, it's just kind of coincidental that it ties in with Still Alive in 2025. But It's kind of coincidental. But 3 members of the band, it's an 8-piece band. And 3 members of the band actually were former Jehovah's Witnesses. And their career was stifled because of the dictates of the Watchtower. They were told not to really do it, don't go forward. And when you guys hear it, I'm not going to brag about them now, but you'll hear it and you'll be bragging about them. Believe me, they're very, very good. And then at 2 o'clock, when the afternoon session starts, well, me, yours truly, I have a talk. I'll address the audience. And I have a talk, and it's called No Fire-Breathing Dragons. And you say, well, what's that all about? Well, in Christopher Columbus' day, you know, if you took a look at the map, nobody really knew what was going on outside of Europe and some other areas. So when Columbus sailed the seas, he was very aware that the earth was round and he'd be all right. But a lot of people said, no, it's flat, there's dragons. Well, we haven't been, there's dangerous dragons. They'll eat your ship up. And it's very much the same way the Watchtower deals with us. You know, when we leave the Watchtower, there's these fire-breathing dragons that are going to get to us. And we're going to return to the vomit. And we're agents of Satan. We're mentally diseased. All of these names they called us. But there's no fire-breathing dragons. So that's my talk. That's about a half hour. And then we have, let me see what we get next. But we got the couple right there on the screen. That's Joe and Fran. And I'm going to give a little bio on them. And I'll put it this way. Joe and Fran have been very open about their experiences with the Watchtower organization and the difficulties it has caused for many individuals. They share their insights on their podcast on the Six Screens Telenetwork and also their own YouTube channel, as well as Fixing My Faith. They also are actively involved in organizing gatherings and fostering connections among ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. So they're the meetup king and queen right there. And then we have at 3 o'clock, we have a man by the name of Tommy Geske. Now, Tommy Geske is a former Jehovah's Witness elder. He was a pretty big elder. He gave talks at conventions, assemblies, and Tommy wanted to speak to the audience. He is spearheading a program to help former Jehovah's Witnesses and others that have been spiritually abused. And he's going to offer this program. He has financial help to people who have been abused. He's putting this organization together for people who have really been abused in the Watchtower and offer assistance, including financial assistance, to be able to help them more. So that's what he's working on. So he's going to tell you, wants to talk all about it. And you're going to hear about this little syndicate that a number of ex-Jehovah's Witnesses are putting together to help those that really have been hurt by the Watchtower. So it's not just, we're not just going to hear sad stories. We're going to hear some good, encouraging things too. And then coming up next at 3:45 is Larry John Wayne. Well, he's no stranger to the Six Screens. In fact, he's been a host on the Six Screens late night show for a number of years. And he went through a very difficult time in his life. When he left the Watchtower, he was shunned by both of his parents. And it's really a story you folks have got to hear. And both of his parents were Jehovah's Witnesses. And just in the last couple of years, Larry hasn't spoken to them for years. They won't talk to him. But his mother and father were in a terrible accident, and they both got killed, car accident. And Larry, he had kind of like mixed emotions over this. He was sad to see his parents die, but he didn't really have the same emotional strain that would normally be put on a person after losing their parents. So he's going to talk about that. What I've tried to do here is I tried to round it out so that we're going to hear all kinds of things: shunning, child molesting. And we even have a man coming on here after Larry John Wayne, and he's a former Jehovah's Witness ministerial servant. We know him as Dick Borgie. And Dick lost everything: his marriage, his house, his children, as a result of being disfellowshipped for masochism. And you say, what? Yeah, he was actually disfellowshipped for masochism. Now, let me tell you, there's different types of masochism. It's not sadomasochism. I mean, that's that sex dominatrix type stuff. It wasn't that. what masochism is, and many ex-Jehovah's Witnesses suffer from it. They cut themselves. They punish themselves. And it was so unbearable when he lost everything. He suffered so much that he actually decided to do the unthinkable. And he was going to commit suicide. And he's going to talk about that. It's quite the story. So I want the audience to hear that. And then after that, we have a woman. In fact, you might know her, Stephanie. We have a woman. We have a woman called Dinah Lost.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
that's not her real name. That's not her real name, but that's the name she goes by. And she was sexually molested as a young girl, and it was covered up by the congregation. And Dinah's mother did not comfort her at all. In fact, when Dinah went to her mother and complained about what was happening to her, the mother said, well, you have to do more for Jehovah. So Dinah found no reason to live, and she made several attempts at suicide. So she's coming on at 4:45 in the afternoon. And then at 5:15, we have a former Jehovah's Witness. His name is Micah Allen Losh. And he was shunned, again, a shunning story by the Jehovah's Witness relatives and friends. And at one time, he was actually homeless as a young man. He had nowhere to live because his parents didn't want him to be with them because they were staunch witnesses. So then we go to dinner break, and then we come back at 5:30. We're going to have, again, live music. And then the evening session starts with Barbara Anderson. And Barbara Anderson is going to be on stage. It's going to be a forum setting. And she's going to be on stage with a former Bethelite, Gary Alt, and with the commuting Bethelite, Alan Smith, that plays the music. He's going to be on stage, and they're going to talk about Bethel and what their feelings were when they were there. And then 7:45, we have Anne Marie DeSoto from California. We all know her. She's got a program on the 6 screen. She's got 2 programs. And so if all goes well, we'll have her on at 7:45. And she has such a real practical approach. She says it's a nut and bolt approach to helping people in the Watchtower. So hopefully she'll be here with us. And then we have at 8 o'clock, we have an author. Her name is Stacy's a former Jehovah's Witness. Her name is Stacy D. Young, and she wrote a book. It's called Cult Girl. So she'll be with us for 15 minutes talking about that. And then at 8:15, just stop me if you guys want to interject anything, At 8:15, we have a powerful story from Dan Clark. Now, we all know him, right? Well, he shows up all over the internet. He's a really good guy. He's a former Jehovah's Witness, and his wife's name is Angela. And they're going to be speaking up about the dangerous and destructive of the Jehovah's Witness religion. Dan told the story numerous times, personally experienced immense pain when his immediate family cut him off and shunned him after he left religion. I believe his testimony is going to be so powerful. Dan really is emotional, and he really does get real emotional talking to it. When you hear his story, you'll be emotional with him. We're going to have Kleenex at the podium, at the lectern, because a lot of people will break out crying. So any other thoughts on that? I'll keep going if you want, but if you got any thoughts, somebody else can pop in.
Rick, I'm just helping Romy to come on. Yeah, Romy is, let's see. I told her to go to the video, the one that we're doing now, and then in the live chat, and this goes for anyone that wants to come on. I know Gigi had some questions when Barbara Anderson comes on. Just go to the StreamYard link, Joe and Fran Garino. They just put it up. Okay, Romy. Romy, if you can hear me, just go to that link just above our name. It's in blue, and it says HTTPS StreamYard, and click on that. And then when you are on that, you have to turn your YouTube off and turn your camera and microphone on. Let me know if you can do that, Romy. Romy's not too familiar with StreamYard, so we'll just be patient. Thank you, Rick. We'll get back to the program. But we did want Romy to come on because she's thinking of, okay, it asks for a display name. Just type in Romy for your display name. Hi, Gigi. Hi, Gail. Wait a minute.
Can't hear you,
You're
Gail.
muted.
Sorry about
There you-
that. I
There
have
you go.
two questions for Rick. Hi, Rick.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are
Fire
you?
away. Fire
I'm good,
away.
thank you.
Rick. Are you going to have a written program that you're going to print out?
Oh, yeah, we have. In fact, it's like a playbill. It's gonna give a little bio on everybody that has a talk, all of the information that you need. So yeah, you'll have that when you come into the convention. It'll be an information desk. Go right up there and get one, yep.
Okay. Will it be available all 3 days?
Yep, all 3 days, yep.
I have another question for you. I have a dear friend, and he's thrilled that I woke up and got out of the organization. He's very intrigued on this convention. May I bring him along? Because he really wants to join in and on the audience. Is that all right?
You can bring anyone you want, yeah, anyone you want. Yeah, we have, right now, it's fair to say we have 300 that I know are coming. Now,
Okay.
I also have about 150 in the sidelines. So I checked in the other day. Someone mentioned the other night, they called me and they said, Rick, we called the Hilton and there's only 4 rooms left. But there's Romy's on there now, yeah. But
Rick, if you don't mind, Romy has only a few minutes, or she's
Yep.
So if Romy wants to come on and say hello, and I know you're thinking about coming to the meetup, if you want to give some thoughts or if you have any questions for Rick, and we see Stephanie and Brian and Gail is here too.
Welcome, Romy.
Hi. Wow. Lots of beautiful faces. Hello. So here's the deal is I just got to my office and I'm driving home. So why don't you guys talk? I'll listen on video while I'm driving. And then when I get home, I can participate. I just don't know if I want a video while I'm driving, but I'll be with you while I'm driving, listening.
Okay,
Gotcha.
sounds good. Thank you.
Okay.
You got it on. That's good. Good job.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry.
No,
Who
Gail
was
was Gail. Gail, you were
Did you finish your question? Oh, you're still muted.
muted.
Unmute yourself.
Gail,
I'm sorry.
muted.
There you go.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Don't grow old. That's all I can say. I'm having
Too late.
I'm
It's
having a
too
dense
late.
day today.
It's too late, Gail. It's just too late.
Boy, I'm making a lot of boo-boos today. Well, I didn't have anything else. I just want to know about the program and that it was going to be available for 3 days. And I wanted to know if my friend could come because he's more excited than I am.
We can't wait to meet him.
Oh, I know what it is. Carpooling. I'd be glad to volunteer to pick up a few people
Oh,
for
that's
car-
nice, Gail.
for carpooling.
Well, we've got what I've got going on here, Gail. You'll start seeing some signs around, even over there by Burlington where you live. I got a bunch of telephone pole signs
Okay.
that we're putting up
Wow.
all over the area. Now, the last time I did that, we had a little seminar. It was small, a seminar back in 2004, and I put 100 signs on telephone poles. I got 200 calls.
Wow.
200 calls. So we've advertised pretty much. I took out a bunch of ads on Facebook, and we're getting really good response from that. But there's a lot of local yokels. This is the apostate capital of the world. A lot of apostate. Yeah. So we're trying to reach them. Yeah.
I also want to volunteer because I live 2 towns away from the convention, that if anybody wants, to know some good spots to go out to dinner. And again, I'll be glad to drive people around sightseeing if they want to. So
Well, it's nice
That's
to say
really
that.
nice of you.
Nice to say that. Thank you, Gail. Yeah, in fact, when I do I'll give the announcements, and I'll ask anyone from Massachusetts have any good spots that they would recommend.
okay.
Because people are going to wonder. Some people are coming here for the first time; they've never been here. Yeah.
Because I have someone from California who's going to come out and stay with me.
Well, isn't that good? Well, thank you, Gail. For
You're
doing
welcome.
that. That's good. Yeah.
If I had more room, I'd let Nadine come and stay with me too, but I'm sorry I don't.
Yeah,
Well-
she's got a room already.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
thank
nice.
you.
But if there's anybody that really has no room, I have a blow-up mattress. I can make room for them. I'll be glad to do that.
That's nice, Gail. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, you're welcome.
We can't wait to meet you in person.
Okay.
Did you go to the Burlington Hall, Gail?
Pardon me?
Did you go to the Burlington Hall?
Lexington, but this is a funny story. This happened yesterday. I have this elder from Burlington. He calls me every month. He called me yesterday, wanted to know if I wanted an air conditioner. I said no. And I said, I kind of left 2 years ago. And then I told him, I goes, you know, Brother Adams, there's a lot of hypocrites in this religion. He goes, Gail, we're all sinners. So my baby sister is an active Jehovah's Witness, and she goes to the Lexington congregation. And I said, well, did you know my sister just celebrated her birthday last month? He goes, oh, Gail, we're all sinners, so that's okay.
Well, you know, when he offered you the air conditioner, you could have told him that you're already cooled off.
He calls me every month. I don't know why he keeps calling me. He likes to hear my voice, he said.
I bet.
Well, I can understand.
Well, he's
Rick-
married.
Oh, he's married. Well,
Okay.
okay. Rick, we have a question from the audience. Ones who can't physically be there, will they be able to watch the event on YouTube, Zoom, or what do you have set up for those that can't be there physically?
Yes, in fact, that's a good question because I've had numerous, tons of people saying that, you know, they can't come. And understandably, it's expensive. Today, it's just so expensive to do everything. So what we're planning on doing is I got some new video equipment, some new sound equipment, and we're going to try to put it on StreamYard and stream the whole convention, even during intermission. And what we're planning on doing at intermission is I'm going to try to make this very interactive. And that's what streaming can do more than television. So when we stream, we can bring the audience right in. So like we're doing here, okay, this is streaming. So during intermission, even though the audience is going to be walking around, but we're expecting way more online than actually during the event. We're expecting anywhere we could upwards of 2,000 to begin. And by the time it's over, we could get up to 15,000 people watching it live. So I'm going to bring the links out for people. I'll tell them how they can get it. The best way to go on is if you want to watch it, you can go on my YouTube channel, on my Facebook page. We will also be on Twitter and also on Instagram. But the two big ones are YouTube and Facebook. But what we're going to do is we're going to try to have people even that would like to give their own little story, tell their own little story online during intermission. So this would be some people sitting and watching, but the people online would love to hear from some of the people that are calling in and where they're coming from. I think it'll be good.
That'll be nice, Rick.
That'll be great for everybody. You're doing a great work for everybody.
This is historical, like
Yeah.
you said. No one has ever done it before.
Well, I really thought, well, what got me thinking about it, it was kind of like on a whim. But when we go back, you guys, Joe and Fran, were there in Washington in 2023 in front of the White House. And when I went down there and showed up, they were going to have a protest. We're trying to protest, the child abuse in the Watchtower. We were hoping Joe Biden or some of his comrades would come out and listen to us. That never happened, but we did at least try. But anyways, what happened is there was 226 people that were there. And at the end of the protest, a lot of them didn't want to protest. I didn't believe it, but a lot of them came off the sidewalks. I didn't realize they were ex-witnesses, but they just didn't want to be seen holding a sign.
Right.
So after we all got together, we were taking selfies, getting email addresses. And I just mentioned, how would you guys like to have a convention? And they all liked that idea. So I came back and I started doing it. And that's where we got the idea, was from that protest down in Washington.
the largest meetup ever in history. It's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. In fact, it was really amazing to me that many people showed up, but they did. They came in from the United Kingdom, came from all over the place.
They can
I love how people are turning their attention towards politics and the politicians and demanding change from those in power that can make it happen. It's a beautiful thing to see.
No, I think she's asking. I don't know. Should we ask Rick?
Yeah.
Rick, another question. Someone said, can we also contribute financially and show our appreciation for all the hard work involved? These folks will not be able to attend. They're in a different country.
Yeah, they can do that. We would appreciate it. I've been, saving my money up to do this. It's expensive.
You're gonna get up?
But if someone wants to help a little bit, that's possible. And they can do that at 6screensofthewatchtower.com. 6screensofthewatchtower.com. And you can scroll down to the bottom and there's a donation button there and people like to help. And it will go to good cause, believe me. It'll go to help the people who, in fact, we're helping a number of people that couldn't afford it to come with the airplane flights and with the hotel room. Yeah.
You've been very generous with a lot of people, Rick. Thank you for everything.
Well, there's some people really were really hurting, and they were so distraught that they couldn't come. So we'll work something out for them. So they're going to be coming, and I want them here with us. Yeah.
Rick,
Yes.
is that a nonprofit that you have there for the donation?
No, it's not a nonprofit. It's not a nonprofit.
I didn't even know that. I'm wondering if there's something that I can do on my end too to help with. I know you've put in so much heart into, helping people get there with their flights and hotels like me. I just was wondering if there was. I didn't know that. That's really cool.
What it is I've even said it on my program. Don't send me any money. I've been saying this for years.
I know.
There's a lot of YouTubers. I'm not beating them up at all, but to get to listen to the programs or to be part of it, you have to be a patron. You gotta give money. I'm not knocking it. I mean, people do. It costs money to do this stuff.
It takes money to operate, Rick. I mean, it is what it is. It's life. We can't always do things for free. I mean, I know we have big hearts and we want to do things for free, but we have to survive too. This is our passion and your purpose to do this. So I wouldn't feel bad. I would encourage people to help if they want to. We'll talk about it later when I see you, but I didn't know. I'd like to maybe put that on my website or something to try to help.
Yeah,
So.
well, it's been good, and I have to tell you that when I first started years ago, I never wanted to make a dime. In fact, it cost me about $350 a month just to do our program every week. And I got thinking, something. I don't play golf. I don't have any hobbies. I'm just kind of a boring old guy. And then what I do.
You got a lot of friends, though. You got a lot of friends, Rick.
What I do is I like to see. I'm having fun. As long as I have fun, I'm going to do it. I like what I'm doing. I really love it. I look forward to Saturday.
I know you do.
And I've been doing it for 20 years, Romy, and I never missed a Saturday night. Never. I'm not.
I'm so proud of you. I know you do. You do. Yeah. I know how much it means to you, how much it matters to you. So, yeah, I'm just pulling into my development here. So.
Yeah, in fact, when we first started 20 years ago, when we went on YouTube, there was only 4 other people that were doing YouTube videos. And nobody really knew much about YouTube then, but you couldn't do it live. You had to do a recording. And we did have one that we had 2 videos that just about hit 1 million views. That was way back then. And They're still up there, but now there's about 200 people that are out in YouTube videos, which is good. The more the merrier, because what it is, anyone that's doing a YouTube, even if they disagree with me on anything, they're my brother and my sister, because
Yeah.
we're all exposing the watchtower.
I'm parked. Is that Stephanie? I'm sorry, I'm super blind.
Yeah, that's me, Romy. How are you, love?
Beautiful. It's nice to see you.
Me too.
No. Who am I got? I always want to say hi, and then I gotta run up to I don't know if you guys can see, I'm home, my condo building. I'm like, I gotta get way up there in that third floor.
Wow.
That's fun for carrying the groceries, unless you have a elevator, hopefully.
I do. I just went to Carrabba's and got us spaghetti with meatballs for tonight because we had a big day. I didn't mean to get back this late. But I just wanted to make sure that I know everybody. What's the other little lady here I'm seeing? I'm sorry. Even with my glasses, I can't read the name. I'm so blind.
It's Gail. Gail,
Gail.
meet Romy.
Hi.
Gail,
Nice
you're
to
muted.
meet you. I can't hear you.
Oh, hi, Rami and Rick. Just really quickly, I want to make a comment and then I'll hop off.
Sorry, I
just
was muted.
I just wanted to tell you guys that if it wasn't for Rick and Rami, I would not be here today. It was their show that they collaborated together in 2018 that I first tuned in to Rick's show for the very first time. And I spoke to Rami on the phone. It was the very first time I called in. So I want to thank you so much, Rami.
Who am I talking to? Who is that?
Ruby. It's Ruby.
Hi, Ruby.
Yes, Ruby Quinn.
Have you reached out to me? Because I've had thousands of messages and I've not been able to even touch. I get so many messages. Did you reach out to me?
No, that was the first and last time. And for years, I could never find like you ever again. But I did follow Rick since then. So I'm so glad to see you. Like, this is a full circle moment. And it makes me a little emotional.
Oh, Ruby. Romy's right in Florida and Ruby's in Florida. So maybe sometime the two of you could meet up. That would be wonderful.
What, Ruby, where are you in Florida?
Tampa.
Okay, I was just there the other day. I live in Fort Myers Shores.
Nice.
Oh, nice. So that's amazing. I didn't even know that. But yeah, if it wasn't for you, I would not be here. I wouldn't be as healed as I am. You've really helped a lot, and I want to thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Ruby, that's beautiful.
And that's what this is all about. You know, like I was telling Joe and Fran earlier, it's like this beautiful healing, and like healing with intentions. Like I want to heal on purpose. I want to look beyond something I had no control of, and I want to be a healing temple, or whatever you call it, for people that come. And it changes the definition from free to true freedom. And I think that trying to really give ourselves permission to step out of something we really got put into, that we didn't have a choice. So many of us, some of us did, but the power behind it is so powerful.
Right.
But Ruby, is she still there?
She's listening. She's the one
She's in the background listening.
helping us.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just like trying to get it together.
It's okay. It's okay. Tears are good. They're healing and they're safe. You're safe. You're safe to now. And I'm very honored. Thank you for that, because that means so much. When I went on TV, just a little bit about that, A&E had kind of reached out to me because I was speaking in Orlando. I was trying to intentionally heal on purpose. Like I just wanted out. I knew it was wrong my whole life. I knew it was something was very sick, and I wanted out as a little girl, but I was trapped in it. So I spent my whole life, and I finally, with the death of my mother, because she didn't take blood, she needed a blood transfusion, and she died because she died very faithful. And it was so much of a bittersweet, because I felt so guilty about her death. But then on the other hand, I felt guilty about the fact that I was free to do my work. And that was to get myself free out of something that I was entrapped in my whole life. And so many understand that. So I guess I guess for me, it's just there's a lot of beautiful, beautiful people that have come out of this and really want to feel better and get their life back. And then there's some that are stuck, still. And that's, I guess, for me, when A&E had reached out, I was doing events actually, and I was doing events in Orlando. I was speaking about this intentional healing, this power. Like I wanted to do it on purpose. I just wanted to do something different. And because I didn't like the way that felt, I wanted to feel better. I wanted to feel peace and joy, true, so I was very honored that A&E reached out to me, and I was with them for 2 years. It's on 8 channels globally now. And I get very inundated with messages still. And there's a lot of people, I feel very guilty because so many have reached out, and I just haven't had, it's so much for just me, to try to.
I want to jump in here, Romy, and I appreciate what you're saying and what you've done. And this is the reason why we do what we do. Because the failure of the organization that we were part of, the Witnesses, they claimed the Holy Spirit was something that we needed. And what we really need is what we have, and that's each other's inspiration. Inspiration is so powerful. We're here inspiring each other.
Yes.
And the society knew that we would do that and could do that. And I'm very proud and happy that we could be part of this together. Yeah. And I truly appreciate everybody being together with us. I do.
They didn't see us coming. We're stronger than they thought. So we're going to fight back. And that's what we're doing as a team, to be strong, emotionally healthy. And again, Ruby, I appreciate your words. I know that you're a little teary-eyed. And am I going to see you at the convention or the conference?
No, I'll probably be watching, on the live stream.
Yeah, she's there. She said she'll be on the live stream because Rick is going to put it on live stream for anyone that's not there. And there's going to be thousands of people. If I could just interrupt, Barbara Anderson is trying to get on, and she just has to put her mic on. Barbara, if you can hear us, you're in the StreamYard. Barbara.
And quick hello to Dallas. Glad you're here, Dallas.
Hi, Dallas.
Hi, and hi, Romney. And I just had to share with you that I'm so sorry to hear about your mom.
Yeah. Yeah, she was the love of my life, but her death freed me because I didn't want to lose her because she was so sick my whole life. And I didn't want to lose her because I loved her so much, I knew what she was in was wrong, but I had to keep a foot in to stay close to her because she was very, very ill. And I didn't want her to die without me. So
and give my greetings to Rick as well too.
Okay, so yeah,
nice to meet you, Dallas.
Connect your device to join the stage. If you can do that, Barbara. And anyone else that wants to come on, I think we can have up to 10 people at one time. And maybe we can, Romy, maybe we connect you with Ruby sometime. We can figure out how to connect you. Yeah. Okay, we've got her phone number.
Yeah, I live close, and I'd love to meet her for lunch and just have some time with her. I would be so honored. And I'm up in Tampa, not a lot, but I was just there last week. So definitely her and I can connect. I'd love to hear a little bit about her story.
Yeah, this is what we do. We connect people, and it's amazing the connections and the healing that takes place from the connections. It really is.
I have to, I'm going to go upstairs to my condo. I've got supper here waiting.
Thank you for
Yes,
my,
stopping by,
enjoy.
Romy.
And
Thank you.
thank you. Nice
Good night,
meeting you,
Romy.
Romney. And take
Good night.
care there.
We'll be on till 10 o'clock if you want to jump back on.
I may here in about a half an hour. I'm going to go get him fed and
Okay.
myself fed.
Hey,
Okay, enjoy.
Thanks,
Talk
Romy.
to you soon.
okay.
Love you. Thank you.
Love you guys. I'm proud of you
Okay,
all.
it seems
Bye-bye.
like Barbara is trying to get on. Barbara, if you can hear us, just you have to go back on the StreamYard and then unmute yourself. In the meantime, where did we want to pick up? With Rick? I don't think
Sure.
Rick finished,
No.
unless somebody else
Yeah,
wants to say
who
something.
else wants to jump in with something? I mean, Rick has been given a great job showing what we were looking forward to and considerations. Here's a consideration, Rick. And I mean, I'm no lawyer, but there are lawyers around. What are the considerations of the filming being done in a situation like that, but yet there may be no contractual arrangements being made or anything like that?
Yeah, what it is I was just trying to get a hold of Barbara for you guys, so I just got the tail end of it. So you're wondering about the legal aspects of the people coming in with the movie, Joe?
Yeah, because there's individuals who are going to be ostensibly, they're going to become part of a film that's not theirs. I really don't know how that works, and maybe they don't either.
It's, it certainly has been done before. I mean, as long as people are aware of it.
Well, okay.
If we just pulled out the cameras and started, filming people without them having any knowledge of it, I could see where they could be a little upset, perhaps even sue you.
Right.
But we're going to make it very clear that there's a film crew there.
Right.
So you enter at your own risk. In other words, we got 3 different options, as I mentioned at the beginning of the program. So if there's going to be a light that's going to be red neon light, you see that light go on.
I get it. Yeah.
So all of that. So and plus we have masks, or we have this room. So when people come in, they can say, "Look, I don't want to be filmed." But I'll tell you, Joe, I get so many people. I mean, I would say 10 people that want to be in the movie. They called me and said, "Hey, I want to be in the movie." So.
No, I
But
get it.
I appreciate the question, and thank you, Joe, for suggesting that, because I thought a lot about it. Because I'll tell you what happened. When Facebook first started having these groups, for example, if you go back 10 years ago, 12 years ago, when they first started these Facebook groups, people were, putting their friends on there that weren't out of the organization yet. They were just PMOs. And boy, I'll tell you, there was a real uproar. But I just judging what happened back then, I don't think Facebook was sued, but boy, some of the people really had to eat crow. They were so embarrassed and they were so apologetic because some people found out. Because a lot of these people that are coming to the convention too, they probably still have a lot of friends and they don't want to be identified. And there's reason for that. So we're going to make it very, very clear to them. And I've been mentioning it on our program. And when they ask for tickets, that's one reason why I want to give out tickets.
Oh,
I haven't got them right on there. It says it too. Yep.
I got you. That makes sense. No, I get it. I get it. No, it's all being laid out. So that's we certainly appreciate that. So much stands to be achieved through this. It really does. I know what we're interested in just meeting up with the people that we've connected with otherwise, and meeting up with new people and making those new connections. These connections that people are making, they've been so, oh my goodness, they've been so inspirational to us and to each other. And I'm going to repeat this again. The society always spoke about getting Holy Spirit, and about how that was such a big, important thing. I'm not going to dispute that. But what I am going to say, that when I've seen the people, individuals connect with each other, magical things happen. And it's not magic. It's just literally one heart affecting another heart. And it's powerful. It's very powerful. And
Hey, Joe, I'm gonna call Barbara Anderson.
Fran just called her.
I
Okay.
sent her the link again. She's going to try to
Yeah.
get the StreamYard link. From
Yeah.
her email.
What she's probably doing is, if you just hit that link, she might be trying to go to YouTube or even our Streamline, because she has a program on our 6 screens, but she has to use your link, not ours. Yeah.
Okay. So you sent her a
the
link.
StreamYard link.
StreamYard link. Yeah, Fran sent Barbara the StreamYard link. It's a real achievement, pulling all this together. And
It took me a few times to get it too.
I know when we did, I never thought we would be able to the first time we did, but we did.
Can you crack this
Oh,
one?
just a second. Someone can't do something with her thumb. I've got to help her.
Yeah, poor lady. I saw her boo boo.
Yeah, in fact, what Joe was just talking about, it's the technology is amazing. I mean, look at, here we are. And where do you live now, Stace? Stephanie?
We live in Pennsylvania right now.
All right, so we're here, we are 400 miles away. Dallas, you're down in Texas, are you?
North Carolina,
Oh, North Carolina.
but I am native to Pennsylvania,
Oh, yeah.
Whereabouts, Dallas?
South Central,
Okay.
York area.
Sure. Yeah, we know it. We're up near Erie is where we live right now.
Far different end of the state than myself.
It's very true. Yeah, very, very true. Totally different cultures here and there.
We were just up in the area a month ago. In fact, Stephanie, yeah. We go to Illinois a lot. And we go up Route 90. And we come through here all the time. I usually stay right at the Red Roof, right there in the area. Yeah.
Well,
So,
next time you breeze on through, you'll have to give us a call. We got an extra bedroom.
well, thank you. I didn't realize that you guys were in Erie.
Yeah, we just moved back this way just to kind of ended up here to take care of some Watchtower business. As you know, I'm filing my legal case next week.
Well, I wish you success with that. I'll be praying for you, really.
Thank you.
Really.
Thank you. I think it's going to be a big success. So I'll be the first to file, and then, as you know, Travis, attorney, he's quite.
Can you tell Barbara?
He's quite the bulldog. He wants to take on 1,000 of these cases.
She has to know that.
And he's
Okay,
got set up all across the United States to take cases. So if anybody wants to file their case, now is your time. So just contact myself, or you can contact the intake specialist. I'll give you his number. He said I could give his phone number out. His name is Max, and he works right with Travis Law. He's one of the private investigators helping us put all this together. So his phone number is 587-858-3081. So anyone within the United States that suffered child abuse or child trafficking or labor trafficking as a child, like in our door-to-door ministry, cleaning kingdom halls, construction sites, that'll all be included in my complaint against Watchtower. So again, his name is Max, and he'll be doing the initial intake for it. And anybody that wants to come forward and file their legal case. And this is your own separate civil lawsuit. It's not a class action. His phone number again.
Yeah, maybe just a second, Stephanie. Maybe Ruby can put it up on the screen. If
that's a good idea.
If you tell Ruby,
Yeah.
Can you get this number, please?
I just posted it in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Now, Barbara, you said it's.
Yeah, and Barbara's trying to get on. Barbara, if you can hear us, you have to, what does she have to do? She has to turn on her mic. Is that what it said?
It didn't say. Just has to connect.
Yeah, you have to connect to StreamYard, Barbara.
Can I say something? Maverick had an excellent question for Rick, and he's been waiting patiently. It's an excellent question, and he wanted to know about security.
Yes, in fact, we are planning on having some security there. I've got a man that he, if all goes well, he's with the Middlesex County Sheriff's Office. I'm trying to get him there. He's a friend of mine, but we are looking at having some security there, yes, because what it is there's a lot of disgruntled Jehovah's Witnesses. And, you know, they pull all kinds of games on me, and they have in the last 20 years I've been doing this program. I've actually had a SWAT team show up at my house when I was doing the program on a Saturday night, because some of the ex-witnesses, in this case, they were Jehovah's Witnesses, and there was an issue with us, blabbing about the watchtower. They got upset about it, so they put a false alarm out. The SWAT team showed up at my house, accusing me of holding my wife hostage. That was back. That was back. And then we're live on the air too. That was back in August 2022. Yeah. So you're listening, Maverick? I'm glad you're listening in from London. Yes.
Yeah, we get a lot of the same ones that you get, Rick. So we want to welcome Richard. Richard is originally from Texas.
Hi, Richard.
And Richard is a visiting nurse, and he travels around with the dialysis field.
Well, that's amazing.
And yeah, Richard, you're going to be in Tewksbury, right?
I will be there.
Good to meet you.
And Linda, we want to welcome
Hi,
Linda.
Linda.
Hi, Linda.
Hi,
Hello.
Linda.
Hi,
How you
Linda.
doing?
And hi, Rich.
Hi, Dallas.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
And hi, Rick.
How you doing, Dallas? I can always tell it's you. I can
I
always
know
tell.
he's got a distinct voice. You should do some cartoons.
Dallas, when I grow up, I want to sound just like you.
You should
Just
apply.
really quickly, Stephanie, what was the name and number that you wanted to share so I can put it up?
Thank you, Ruby. Yeah, so his name is Max, and he's the intake specialist specifically assigned to the Jehovah's Witness cases because they hope to have 1,000 people come forward. So if you've previously been told no, now is your time to reach out. His phone number is area code 587-858-3081. And then I'd also like to note right now, too, that some of the investigators and the attorney will also be at the convention to answer questions and to talk with the community. In fact, we've kind of changed our strategy a bit. I know when I first came out, there was a lot of confusion as to what was going on. So we took all the information down off of STAR's website, the WOW website, and the legal team and the investigators made their own form, and then they assigned a person to work directly with the survivors that want to come forward. So that takes me, the middleman, out of the equation, so that there's, less confusion on who's gathering what information, and what the purpose of gathering the information is for. It is for the legal purposes, for the lawsuits that they're trying to put together. So hopefully that will help us have a little more trust in the process of what we're trying to accomplish.
Right, Stephanie. So instead of getting in touch with you or Star, they can get directly involved, contact Max. And Max's number was out there.
And I'm always available too as an advocate. And this has always been my project. Star was just helping by putting it on her website. But yes, they can contact me, but feel free to contact, the investigators max. Yourself. You don't even need me. You don't even have to tell me that you filed a lawsuit. But there's people filed that I didn't even know filed that are starting to reach out to me. So we've got quite a few already. The first wave's about to hit probably next week, and I know mine's being filed in New York. I'm assuming the rest are also going to be filed in New York State. So that's going to be the first wave, and hopefully each wave gets a little bit bigger until we get to that big 1,000 that we need. And the reason why we picked 1,000 is because we need enough momentum to gain, notice by the world, and we hope to use this to talk about clergy penitent privilege on a national stage.
Great work.
We want to welcome Barbara. We finally got on, Barbara.
Can you see me? Can you
No,
hear me?
We can hear you, Barbara.
Can you put your video on? All you have to do is go to the little camera. And
I don't see where that is here.
Is it on the bottom of your page?
She goes into settings.
Oh, let me go. Settings is on the top, isn't it?
Look down the bottom on the bottom of the screen. On the bottom of the screen, Barbara, it says stop. It says mute, stop cam settings. Hit that settings button.
Okay, mute, start settings. You want me to hit settings?
Hit settings, yeah.
Okay. Okay, camera, audio, virtual background. What do I hit?
We'll go camera.
I did. Nothing happens.
Well, what does it show?
Say what?
What does it show for camera?
Well, it's in the middle of the page, but it's got it's crossed out.
Well, when you hit the settings under camera, well, what shows up? Take your time. Don't.
Try clicking on the camera that has the X. You might turn it on.
I'm reading down there, but I don't see anything that says.
Okay, one other question, Barbara. Do you have an external camera? I know you had a camera. The camera.
Well, I have the same camera on the top, and it was working, and I don't understand why it's not now. That's very strange.
Well, we can sure hear you, Barbara.
Oh, that's good. Let me see.
From my experience, if there's a slash through it, it means it.
A few minutes ago, I had myself on the left, and now I can't even get that.
Somebody's trying to.
Oh, if you look at the screen right now, it's giving you an example of where you can.
Can you see me? I can see myself talking right now.
We can't see you, Barbara, but did you see where Ruby was showing you to hit start cam?
No, because this is blocking the people on the screen.
Rick has it in a different place.
Underneath my picture, it says, allow while visiting the site, allow this time, never allow.
Yes. Yeah. Click yes.
Well, it doesn't say yes on it. It just says allow. And I clicked on allow.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm off. I'm not on there.
Oh,
there I am. There, you see me now.
Not yet.
I see myself on 1, 2, 3. I'm in the second line.
There you go. You're on.
Yay.
Oh.
I don't know what I did.
You did it.
There she is. Woohoo! Takes a village, doesn't it?
Thank you, Barbara.
I'm an expert at this. You can tell, right?
Oh, that's a battle hard one.
Yeah. I always tell people, I say, I'm a writer. I don't care about the guts of the typewriter, So that never interested me. It was what was here that interested me and what I typed out. So,
you got on.
Okay,
No, no.
I see Richard. Hi, Richard. Do I know you, Richard?
You probably don't.
Okay. So who are you with?
Well, I guess I don't know. I guess I'm an ExJW. I'm from the Texas area.
Texas area? Uh-huh.
Yeah, East Texas. But I'm not there physically right now. But that's where I'm from. I'm in Wisconsin right now.
I see.
I travel for work.
My husband lived in Texas, Dallas. And he went to Bethel from Dallas when he was probably younger than you. Yes, a long time ago. And there's Stephanie, I see, and Brian. Hello. And I don't know who that is in the center.
Dallas.
Well, hi, Barbara, and welcome. It's nice. I think I met you on Rick's show, didn't I?
Howdy, Dallas.
I met you on Rick's show, and I met your husband when he was with us.
That's right. Sure, I remember. Do I sound like him now?
And he'll be remembered forever.
I will remember him forever. I'll tell you. He was a bright light in my life. And it's every time I think about him, I think of the wonderful years we had together.
Nice.
And we were as happy as Brian and Stephanie.
Yes, we're very happy.
Nice. I know it. And also Joe and Fran.
Yes, they're lovely people too.
Thank you for joining us, Barbara. And Kevin and Marissa they don't have their camera on, but they're from California.
Howdy.
Yeah, Gail is in Massachusetts. She's not too far from Tewksbury. And of course, you know, Pasta Babe.
Hi, Barbara.
Howdy.
I have some questions for you when you have a minute.
I got lots of minutes.
Well, actually, it's a compliment. I've been dying to talk to you for a long time. I was baptized in the late 70s. I got this fellowship, came back, and left for good in December of 2023. And I wanted to thank you because you were very instrumental in getting me to wake up. I actually watched your Dateline interview.
Wow.
Well, okay, that's wonderful.
And how I operate is if I don't go by what someone says. I did the research, and everything you said was spot on correct. And one night, a couple of years later, because I was still hypnotized by them, a friend of mine called me at midnight. There was Nightline on, and they were doing a whole program on pedophiles within the Jehovah's Witness organization. So that was another thing that woke me up. But I've watched and listened to you on Rick's show, and I just wanted to say thank you very much for opening up my eyes. And thank you. And I'm so sorry about the loss of your husband.
I appreciate that very much. Well, my issue with the Watchtower was really not on the doctrines. And I was just so appalled that they were protecting the pedophiles and the predators rather than the children. It took years for them to address this. And still, they have issues. You know, they say one thing, but they don't follow through in so many cases. So I keep talking.
Barbara, did you see that they had another arrest today in Pennsylvania?
Did they really?
As a result of the grand jury. Yes, so thank you. Your work is still
wonderful. They promised that they would continue even when Shapiro left.
And they have. Yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yes, it was Stephen Unthank and I in 2018 that sent our submission and asking for that investigation. And 2 weeks later, I had 2 agents sitting in our living room.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so all these years, they have continued to follow what they said they were going to do. And they had the Catholic Church as an example. I say that they tried it all out on the Catholic Church for 5 years. And that's what one of the agents told me. He said, we got to be experts in this on the Catholic Church. So he said, nobody's going to train us now with Jehovah's Witnesses on the questions tag.
Yeah, they're taking it serious. That's for sure.
Yeah. I'm so pleased to hear that. I don't have a connection at when they, it's, let's see, it's their website, the government's website that they put the announcement, and I have to go look every so often to check and see if they're doing anything. So I didn't check today or yesterday or this week. But there's every elder body in Pennsylvania got the same letter a few, I'd say, a year and a half, 2 years ago, and asking for anything in their files that said anything about child abuse. They were to send the copy of it in. And what many of the people didn't know was that they already had the copy, so they could match it up with what the congregation elders said they had or they didn't have.
Catch them in the bold-faced lie, huh?
Yes. And so if the elders didn't send it in, there was actually a threat of arrest if they didn't do what they were asked to do. So I think that Pennsylvania being the birthplace of Watchtower, I can only rejoice that it might be the death of Watchtower.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So Barbara, if I could interrupt, the reason why we brought you on and Rick on, and we're talking about, as you call it, the conference that's going to be in Tewksbury, Still Alive in 2025. If you can talk to us a little bit about the film crew, the film company, and how this all got started. It sounds like you had something to do with it.
I did, but I didn't know I did. Well, I was, let's see, it was I got to think back now, it's a few years. It was a lawyer in Spain that reached out to me, and of course I didn't speak Spanish, and there was an elder in New York City who was Spanish, ex-elder, and so he was a translator for the attorney, and the attorney asked me many questions about Jehovah's Witnesses. It was a case that he was dealing with, child abuse case. So I answered the best I could, and it was many interviews on this. Well, I believe, if my memory serves me correct, that the Watchtower lost that case. And the newspapers, if anybody's going to have anything different to say, just blame my memory because it's been a while. So the newspapers picked it up, and they did a scathing report on the Watchtower. And then what I remember, the Watchtower sued the newspapers. So that's really how I got involved in the background. And then the Watchtower, you don't tangle with newspapers. Don't sue a newspaper, you lose. So that's what happened. Watchtower lost the case. And that's been quite a while ago. It's maybe a year or more. And, you know, we had the pandemic between all this. And so it wasn't easy. It isn't easy to remember exactly events that took place pre and then after the pandemic. And let's see. So out of nowhere, I get an email from this man who is a producer in Spain. And I can only figure that he got that from my interaction a year or two ago. And so he said that he wanted to interview me, and he wanted to come to our house. He'd bring his team to the house here. And then there were 2 victims that they were going to bring. And I would answer the questions on a part of these 2 young people. So that's what we expected. That went on for a while. And I knew about Rick's conference. I call it conference. Everybody else calls it convention. But anyway, I knew about it, and I told Eduardo, that was the name of the producer, and I said that I introduced him to a number of people that he could interview in the United States and in other countries too. So next thing I knew, I after telling him about Rick and giving him Rick's contact information, he got a hold of Rick. So still, I was supposed to, my house was supposed to be the place that they were coming. And then we would, this is what they told me. They said, we'll get on a plane with you and we'll film you on the plane or getting on the plane. And then when we get to Boston, we'll film you getting off of the plane. And it was, I thought, good Lord, I'm no movie star, you know, this is ridiculous. So that was the plan. And then a while later, I hear, well, we're not coming to your house. We're going right up to the conference. I'm going to say convention because that's what Rick wants. Okay. So I said, okay, that's fine with me. So that is how that all happened. Now, I know that there was nobody that put these people up to it. I talked to Eduardo about his religion, and he says, oh, he said, I was raised in a Catholic church, but he said, I don't do anything about it. And so you can't really have any religious discussions, you know. So I had to send him over the months just oodles of documents. And he had a nice group of women working with him, the production team. And they were reading everything I was sending because they had to make up questions. Well, I had lots of questions that were sent to me over the years. In fact, I had 2 pages of questions sent to me to answer, which I did, from Moscow. And I sent that to them. It was in English. And I sent questions from other programs that I appeared on. And so I said, he can pick the questions. Just let me know what the questions are, and I'll get together the answers. And I like to make variety and not just say the same old thing. So we've been talking back and forth, and then they told me they wanted to go upstate New York to work. And I said, well, I would go, except that they probably wouldn't let me in. And the producer said, oh, I think they'll let you in. He said, I already have the tickets. And so I said, okay, you know, they wouldn't recognize me anyway. The last time they saw me, I was a lot younger. But as soon as I opened my mouth, they would know, right? So that was how I was going to do this. And then I hear from him and tell me that, no, they're going to go to Brooklyn Heights. And there's an former witness, and he's a tour guide. And he was at Bethel for 18 years. But now he's a tour guide. He left the organization.
Is that Ryan?
Yes.
Ryan? Okay. Ryan is on the, for anyone that knows the Liberati group, that's Ryan Ayan, and he does tours for his work now that he's out of Bethel.
Yeah, he lives in an apartment that used to be owned by Watchtower.
Yes, he does. He does.
Yeah, it's interesting. So he was going to show us around, and I was going to talk about, I had to send him pictures of me inside the office building. So I had some pictures of me at different times sitting at my desk here and there, because, you know, Trump's son-in-law did own it. I'm not sure. He's selling a lot of stuff, so I'm not sure whether they still have the ownership, but I think so. So we were going to tour the area, and I was going to talk about Russell, and that this is where Russell came in 1909. And I was going to mention, you know, most people don't know who are witnesses why Russell came to Brooklyn, because he used to say, this is the best place to ship literature around the world, and that's why he came there. But that was a lie. He moved there because there was a warrant for his arrest in Pennsylvania.
Oh my goodness! Really?
Absolutely.
Wow. There's always
This book
a lie behind what they say. I
Yeah.
said there's always a lie
Oh,
behind
you
what they
know
say.
it. You know, I got so much information on the early group, and that's what I find all the time. You have to go beyond what they say, but you know that was not necessarily because they lie, but time took care of a lot of things. People died, and they took stories with them. Other people wrote books who were Bible students, and so they were filling in the gaps. They get the years wrong, so you have to read them all, everybody, and put it together, like the pyramid that is there. And so you had to learn why, who brought the pyramid even into Christianity. And so I had to go back and do the research all the way back into Europe, and then how it worked its way into a belief, and why Storrs, actually George Storrs was followed the idea of the that stone pyramid and how it fit in God's purpose. And then, you know, Storrs died the very same year that Russell started the Watchtower, 1879, and he married Mrs. Russell in the spring of 1879. So I had to go back and track out everything that was going in that part of the world in 1879. And oodles of fascinating information, because the word Watchtower itself, why did George Storrs name his first book Watchtower? And then when he died, Russell picked up the word Watchtower. Well, it goes back to the 14th century and how it was used back then. And that is part of some of the stuff that I know, and myself and someone else are hoping to talk about this, and the occult. So fascinating history. It's not a job, it's a joy to look at all the history behind the people who believed very similarly that Russell picked up. He picked up the beliefs. So that's why I call Russell invented, I say it's a rerun religion. It was picked up from hundreds of years before, different aspects of it. It wasn't new with him. So we were going to kind of talk about that and show different buildings in Brooklyn Heights. But now I'm not sure that they're even going to do that. I'm waiting on an answer. So last week I sent them documents, and I bet I sent them 50 or more documents that they have to read and pick out statements and then ask me. That's the best I can do. I can't make up their story, their show, and we'll see what happens. But they were very happy to talk to people who were in the witness group and bring some with them. So,
hey, Barb, if we could just interrupt you for a second. And we want to welcome Dan. Dan is from Rhode Island, and he's going to be in Tewksbury. Hi, Dan. You're muted. Can you hear us, Dan?
Hiya, Dan.
Is that on the left? Oh, yes, I see him.
Dan, can you hear us? Okay, when Dan wakes up. Oh, there you are, Dan.
I had to put my mic on.
There you go. Okay, yeah, so you're going to be in Tewksbury, right, Dan?
Yes, I am. In fact, I wanted to tell everybody hello, number one. And originally, I was going to go because I didn't want to revisit all that painful memory. But Jeannie Gachillon, a friend of mine who is in Rhode Island, convinced me that this is actually going to be a good thing. And I'm seeing that it is. This is going to be a beautiful, beautiful episode, and I can't wait to go now.
Good. Do you have any, Dan, do you have any questions for Rick about the program, or Barbara or Stephanie's going to be there? You have any questions?
I don't have any questions. I'm pretty sure everything is going to be awesome.
Good.
And I'm more interested in being surprised of what's to come. I don't need a preview or anything, because I did hear a little bit about the program, but no, I just want to let it unfold as the days go on, and
Okay,
that's why
good.
it's so exciting to go somewhere not knowing what's going to happen.
We just have a little background story about us and Dan. We actually met Dan in, let me get the year right, 2003. Our oldest son got married, and he married a sister from Connecticut, and they had their wedding in Connecticut. And Dan was still a witness, and we were too, obviously. And Dan he did all the food for the reception. He's got a background in culinary arts and baking, so he put together all the food, and we met Dan, and we thought, what a nice brother. And then we never really kept in touch with him, but when we left, I sent out postcards to people that we knew, and we thought we had heard from the grapevine that Dan was out, so we sent a postcard and said, hi, this is Joe and Fran, Mark's parents. I don't know if you remember us, and we're no longer Jehovah's Witnesses. Give us a call. And he did.
Yeah.
What do you remember?
Yeah, really. It was maybe seconds that I responded to that postcard. I called you right up as soon as I got that postcard.
And we were so surprised to hear your voice. And we got together. We've been to how many meetups together? The one in Massachusetts, the one in Rhode Island, and then you came to ours that we just had in May. So that's 3 times that we've met up, and now we're going to see you in Tewksbury. So it's so nice to see someone that we knew when we were Jehovah's Witnesses, and now we're both out, and we're so happy for that.
Nice to be connected.
Well, hi, Dan. I'd like to introduce myself. Nice meeting you, and love having you on with us here. And well, hi there, Kevin and Marissa too. Just thought, beautiful. Wow, that's a beautiful dog you got there. Just
thank you. Thank you. His name's Loki.
Oh, that is so nice.
Same time.
Nice meeting y'all there.
Nice meeting you, Dallas.
You too, Diane.
I think the convention's going to be like a coming home for many of us, you know, like that. You talked about reconnecting with Dan after all those years. You know, it's just a beautiful thing, and especially even more beautiful when you've known somebody from before and they come out. It's kind of Brian's and my story. He left the organization when he was 18, and wasn't until 2009 him and I reconnected, and it's like a coming home feeling.
You sure did, didn't you?
Yeah, we sure did. Yeah.
You know, it's going to be interesting if we find someone else from our past that we didn't know.
Right.
That's going to be interesting.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
That goes for everybody.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't catch the date. When's the date for this get together? Convention. That's an old term. Oh boy, that's a faux pas. Get together. Remember that term? Get together. Oh my God.
Together.
Gathering.
Hey Rick, you want to give the dates?
Yes, it's August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Of course, coming up about 3 weeks from now. But Joe, you brought up something very interesting when you were just talking, and you said we might meet people that we haven't seen in years and didn't realize they were out of the Watchtower. And I used to go down to the Witnesses Now for Jesus convention in Pennsylvania, and that happened quite a bit. When they first started way back in 1979, a woman by the name of Joan Setner, her and her husband.
I knew her husband really well. And
Yeah, that's right, Barbara. He was
the Setner.
the Setners. Yeah, they left to Bethel, and they started. In fact, I'll tell you what, they lost a lot. They didn't believe in the blood policies of the Watchtower.
That's right.
So they left, and they started a convention for ex-Jehovah's Witnesses that became Christians. So in 2004, I went down there and met Joan. And by that time, Bill, his name was Bill, he was the husband, he died, but Joan was running the convention. And it really one time was quite a big operation. They brought in over 200 people. And it kind of fizzled out. Joan got kind of sick, and when she had a stroke, she couldn't do it anymore. But what I was really surprised when I first went down there in 2004, just about everybody was a former Jehovah's Witness. And they were individuals that wanted to still believe in God when they left the Watchtower. It was way out in the mountains of Pennsylvania. I mean, in no man's land. There's no motels or anything there, but it's a Christian retreat center. But to make a long story short, they had some really, really good speakers. And it wasn't all Christian talks either. They had people that had websites, some of the early people that started websites against the Watchtower. And it became like a cult ministry training center. There were a lot of people that came in just to learn how to work with Christian cults because they are the most dangerous. A Christian cult is the most dangerous, and that's what the Watchtower claims to be. And the reason why they're dangerous, and the reason why we have so many issues with the Watchtower, even when we leave, is we always thought that that was the truth. All of us tonight can understand that. We always thought that, God was speaking through the governing body. And that's why we all kind of got connected to them. So they really do a lot of damage on a person's mind, because when people leave, the Watchtower always said, well, who am I going to go to? Who are you going to go to? And they said, don't ever go into a church, and that's bad, that's demonic. So you have so many people that have left the Watchtower that have been so spiritually damaged.
That's the
It got me thinking that I met a lot of people there that I knew. I'm not from Massachusetts here. And, Pennsylvania is 300 miles away. 300 miles away is when I travel. But I met people there that, wow, you get out of the organization too? So that's going to happen up here at our convention. That's going to happen. Yeah.
Nice.
For sure. Good stuff.
Anyone have any questions for Barbara or Rick or anyone?
Yeah. Okay. Have you heard anything more about the Zalkin firm bringing the governing body depositions with that thing that went down a few months ago?
Yes. A representative who's going to speak at the conference, but he represents Zalkin's. He's an ex-witness, though, and so he's going to speak. Well, what he does is he represents the law firm, but he is also has his own job, and so that's not what he does full time. He's not a lawyer, but he was an elder, and so Zalkins was looking for an active somebody who was an active activist who was an elder. So I recommended this fella, and he's going to talk a little bit about that. Not much, because it's, you can't talk much about things going on right now. But one thing I do know, I've been told this, that there's no way on the face of this earth that any of the governing body are going to be representing their body. They're not going to show up, that is for sure. And but a lot of fascinating information is coming now in Discovery. That's what I was told by the fella. And we'll all find out later when the transcripts are released after this is over. But there's also another case. I won't tell you where that one is, but there is another one that's going on. It's also going to make a lot of noise when that's over. And they're mostly older, definitely older cases. So, but the Washara has really done some things to help prevent child abuse. So we're not going to have the cases in the future from our days now of kids being molested. So, but there were so many molested back in those years when predators knew that this organization was easy to get at our kids. And that was the sorry part about it. That
Barbara, excuse me, Barbara, are you saying there might be more safeguards right now to prevent?
Yes, they just changed the policies that you can go to the authorities. And before they would discourage you to go. You always kept it in-house. If you were molested, you went to the elders, and if you were a predator, you were pointed at by a victim, the predator would go to the elders. That was they handled it in-house because they believed that the world was under the domain of Satan. So why go to Satan's world to handle this? I mean, they had a good reason to do it, but it didn't work. And it turned out that the predators were saying, I'm sorry, because repentance is such a big part of this religion, Christian religion. And Watchtower is no difference in this. They made very, very loud noises about you have to be repentant. So these people who were molesting, they were repentant, and then they molested again and again. So now elders are making decisions. They have to call the society first, though. And I think we're going to have a lot more information later on. But as right now, I mean, Stephanie, she's talking about the trafficking. I love that word. And gosh, so trafficking children is a big problem. I learned yesterday about a woman who, nothing to do with the witnesses, but in her state, she exposed a complete police group at a certain, the area, a police group, like in the town. Every one of the policemen were involved in trafficking. 3 judges were involved, and she broke that whole mess up. And what a story she tells. But as I said, she's not affiliated with the witnesses. But see, people can do things. They can, if they want to help children. I remember at Bethel when I was in the writing department, one of the writing in the communications, the writing communications area, one of the men said to me about the children and trafficking, and he said, it's not unusual if you go to an airport, and this is years ago, to see a man walking along with a small boy. The boy looked like he was peaceful, but he was on drugs. And so they were moving them. And I think, Stephanie, you're shaking your head, but that one that I was talking about, that woman, those children, they were being sent over to countries in Asia, and they were being used by the richest people, government people, and most horrible thing. So
it is a dark network that is being exposed right now. I know one of the counter trafficking organizations that I'm familiar with, they are working out of South Africa, and he mentions the old spice routes are still being used to human traffic. And they say that right now in the globe, the human trafficking issue is worse than it ever has been in human history. And these networks, they work together. You mentioned the police, we have a case coming out right now that involves Watchtower. And even when the main perpetrator was disfellowshipped, it was the trafficking ring still involved him, even though he was disfellowshipped. See, they don't care what religion you are. They will work together in these communities, and they stick up for each other. They cover each other's crimes, and they use each other's children.
Stephanie,
very
you know,
sick.
Rick was saying earlier that this sex trafficking is kind of new to a lot of the friends that are coming out. You know, they've
Yes.
known about the child sexual abuse, but the actual trafficking, you know, you hear about that with Epstein and others in the world, but within Jehovah's organization, some people find this very hard to believe.
Right. Wherever
the excess.
wherever we can hide darkness, it will breed like a mold. So and that's why it's so important for those that have suffered any extent of child abuse within Watchtower, that they come forward, because our voices collectively do make a difference. And, you know, I make the argument that clergy penitent privilege exemption, by them misusing the mandatory reporting on that it does give the it is trafficking. It's complicit. It makes them complicit to the trafficking, and you know, they're guilty just by their inaction. But in my own family, I know some of you have heard the story. My brother ran away from home. He was about 14 or 15 years old, to escape the abuse, the rapes that he was suffering at the hands of a known predator in our congregation. And he ran away because they would not allow him to go to the police. And so he ran away from home. It took him months, but he did. He was able to get to the police station and report the crimes, and he was able to get the perpetrator behind bars for approximately a year and a half. But, you know, so he was able to help the situation there for a little while. But no, their inaction does cause human trafficking. And my mother was she was a regular pioneer. One of the times my brother came home asking for food, my mother refused him food and said, well, I can drive you to so-and-so's house so that you can do this sexual act, so you can have McDonald's money, and I'll drive you up to McDonald's. So that is outright human trafficking. And then, you know, these are the things that I saw within my own family. My brother ran away. I was about 11 years old. And then I was threatened with my brother's fate if I didn't allow my own abuse to happen. And there was drugging involved in my case. There was also videotaping involved, which is a whole other form of trafficking. And I'm not the only one. I've been talking in the community, not just the former Jehovah's Witness community, but ecumenically. I've been talking to survivors from LDS, Scientology, Baptists, Catholics, you know, all across the board. And this same dark force works in the same exact way in all of these institutions. And it's not just our religious institutions. CPS is involved. The man that my mother sold my brother to, he actually worked in the court systems, the same court system that dealt with my brother, as eventually when he came back and came forward, you know, now they realize they have this child that, you know, somebody has to do something with, and the parents don't want him because he's a spawn of Satan now, because he discredited or, you know, spoke out against the organization in such a bold way, What a hero that little boy was at 15 years old, to speak up for not just himself, but his entire community. But yeah, these networks, they work together. And it goes all the way to the top. You know, the
Well, you
politicians.
know, the dark web.
Yes,
And
dark web.
And they know each other.
Yes.
One detective said that he said the whole North America, amongst the witness organization, they all know each other. He said his experience. That was about, I have his letters. It was about 10 years ago that this man who was investigating, and it was awful situation. But I thought his remarks were extraordinary. So then that's where they could easily get to the kids, not only, like you said, not only Jehovah's Witnesses, but where churches, some of the churches did well, I have to say that, when they realized. Episcopal Church, a number of years ago, when we came out against the witnesses, Episcopal leader, head of the church, he put in place excellent rules. And but things have changed since then. Even he had a rule where if a child identifies it's the predator, that child could still go with his parents to the church, but the predator could not. He couldn't be in the same area or room with the one that he molested. So they would have a minister of the church go to the house of the predator or the jail and to talk to them about the church service that was that morning. So they didn't leave anybody out, but they separated. Whereas the witness kids would sit in the Kingdom Hall and see brother so-and-so who did stuff to them, and nobody would believe them. And that's what was the whole deal. They were so bitter because nobody believed them. Yeah. But things are changing in the organization because of the results of the bad press have been phenomenal against the organization. So, but they lie. It's the problem with the lawyers that they could just speak truth when they're in court, but so many of them are just such liars. And there's stuff that goes on even now about that, but you can't talk about it because there is lawsuits going on. But don't think that nothing's happening. There are things.
There is a lot going on. Yes. We're so thankful for everyone that's been contributing throughout the years.
Absolutely. And the press played a big part in this by interviewing. One NBC producer told me, you know, as a witness person growing up, and of course I became a witness at 14, but we were humble people, and I learned how to deal with people and so forth. And he told me, he said, dealing with you, he said, and I wish I could say it correctly, but it's a mensch. A mensch, that was a name for a good woman. He said, you're a mensch. He said, I like dealing with you because he said, you're not arrogant about this. You want to save and help children. And that was really the only reason. I didn't care about celebrity at all. I was just as surprised as everybody else was that people were making such a big deal over me. But that was nothing. You know, it was the what we were working towards to get the Watchtower to change their policies, and we had to. I spoke at the Vatican, and they were having awful problems, and that's why some dioceses are paying out now $80 million or billions and whatever. But when I spoke at the Vatican, that they were having such problems in Italy, it was all coming out then. And that was 2009, and so it was everywhere. And but you know, kids have been molested and forever. Kids, it was legal for many centuries for people who had power to have whatever. they want with kids.
You talked earlier about the occult, and that is an underlying issue with the enterprise of harming children. And it's the enterprise of harming children that is organized and
some
they
places
purposely hurt the children, especially boys around the age of 8. There's a spiritual reason for it, and it's really sick. And people believe this, and that's where the term satanic ritual abuse comes into play. It doesn't matter if you believe in God and Jesus or Satan and the devil. These people do, and this is what they do, is they purposely cause the most inhumane harm to children on purpose. I know I've mentioned several times the case that's going to be coming up out of Maine. Everyone keep your eyes on it.
Yes.
Because it's very real and documented.
You know, you think of the background of all this. You ask yourself, where did this come from? And if you do some deep research in dark areas that you may not want to know about, that the early male priesthood that took over from female priestesses, the early male priesthood had of its rituals ritual sodomy.
Mm-hmm.
Ritual sodomy was part of the rituals for being a priest. And the whole practice of this filtered into and became religions.
Yes.
Religions. Religions was the perfect hiding place for this stuff.
Yes, history can give us the answers about how it originated, but the saddest part of all of this is that 91% of the people do not report child abuse, and it's in the families. And so they don't want to have the shame, the same way that the Watchtower used it. And we don't want to have the reproach on Jehovah's name. But there's more reproach on Jehovah's name after you find out that they were protecting the predators. So, but the saddest thing is that it's in the homes where the kids are maybe molested by the grandfather, which is common. And a lot of that has to do with mental illness, because so many people who have mental illness, when they're old, there's part of the brain that becomes very, very active, not in every male, but in many males, and becomes very active for the desire of sex. And so but that's been going on for time indefinite, you know.
If we could interrupt again and introduce, we'd like to introduce Dinah Lost. Lisa, Rick was talking about you earlier, and you are going to be in Tewksbury, and you're going to be talking a little bit about your story, but we welcome you.
Yes, thank you. It's been a little bit crazy because my mom passed away, and the emotions of just everything is a little much, because there's a lot of explanation on Jehovah's side, because my whole family is on Jehovah's side. So it's been a little bit difficult. One of the biggest upsetting things, even though I didn't go to the Kingdom Hall funeral because I knew better, because I had already been to one on Zoom, but they had my mother's memorial service in the Kingdom Hall that all of my trauma happened. So I'm like, why would you, if I was to even have a potential to go, why would you have it at that Kingdom Hall? She didn't even live there. They traveled all the way down to this Kingdom Hall that was just like my nightmare. So it's just been a lot.
Well, we appreciate you coming on, Lisa. We know it's been a roller coaster for you, and we just appreciate your story. You're opening up, because, like Barbara was just saying, a lot of the victims don't open up because of the shame. And it takes
Yeah.
a lot of courage, and we truly appreciate you coming
I
forward.
I was really broken for a long time about shame until I guess, it was mentioned a couple times, but it didn't quite get absorbed the fact that it wasn't my shame, it was their shame. And I carried their shame, and it wasn't, I wasn't supposed to. Like, that was not what I was born for, to carry their shame. So that helped me, eventually hearing it enough. I was like, oh, yeah, this sounds really bad and awful, but it's not my really bad and awful. That's theirs. And that's why they don't want to hear it.
True.
And that inner strength is what they are so afraid of. So we're so proud of you.
Keep speaking out. Keep
And
speaking out.
my mom was, the narcissist of the family. At least, a lot of the tension came from, and the obedience came from her. So, I would have to pick my switches out, to get beat with out in field service. If we weren't behaving, we'd be like, all right, go pick your switch. And I'd have to take the leaves off and everything so that I'd get beat because I wasn't acting appropriately in the field service ministry. And she bragged, my whole life that I was a pioneer when I was a baby, because she carried me along with her. So, yeah, it wasn't, field service was never enjoyable for me. I was always terrified, but I grew a fear of people because you had this fear of everybody outside the organization. And then I was molested on the inside of the organization. So it was just like, and nobody, once I did say something about it, it was like nobody cared.
Yes.
It was just that flippant that it was like, all right, well, we had a discussion, and it's in Jehovah's hands now. And I was just like, I didn't feel Jehovah on my side. So when they said that, I was just like, I don't understand that. It's in Jehovah's hands. Who is Jehovah at this point? So I kind of just threw myself into survival mode and did what I was supposed to do to not get damaged anymore, so I didn't get in trouble.
You're doing what there's a saying, British people use it more than we do. They call sorting things out. And it when a really, really confusing situation faces a person, they don't know how to sort it out. They have no idea how to sort it out. And until they learn, they're going to carry that mess. Well, you certainly are sorting it out, Dinah.
One of the bombs that I got hit with is that the cousin offender claimed that it wasn't him, that it was another cousin, and I never knew any of that. Like, nobody ever spoke to me about that. And I'm like, why did we not further investigate this? Like, I'm like, we have all this holes on my side, and we're like, we did what we were supposed to do. We did the best we could with, this is what we were told to do. And I said, I get that, but don't you see that's not okay? Like, what the guidance that was given to you was wrong, and they don't apologize for not getting it exactly right. Like, how humble is that? And we're the followers of Jesus. I don't buy it.
Right.
Sorry you're going through such a tough time right now, Dinah.
Yeah, I think it's just, one trigger after another. It's like when a family member dies, and it's like she was my childhood monster. I was literally afraid of this woman. But at the same time, she was always trying to get closer to me, later in life. And it was hard to deal with because we would always get in arguments about the organization. And she would get, because she blamed me for my assault when I was older, because I associated with someone outside of the organization. So that's how I got my name Dinah, because that was what she associated with me, that, I was assaulted because I'm associated with people outside the organization. And she was like, although the molestation's not your fault, the bar drink was on you. And I'm like, I didn't even have a drink at a bar. Like, she didn't even take the courtesy and understanding to know what happened.
Yeah, that's a key point right there. They don't pay attention to what's happening.
They're so busy defending.
Yep.
They're so busy defending that they can't even open their eyes and see the horrible right in front of them.
And so busy trying not to fall off of their own throne that they've built for themselves.
Yeah.
I just want to say that out of all of this, Lisa, we've met Lisa several times, and she has 2 beautiful children, and she takes care of those children, and she's gone through so much trauma, and the children, you know, they see Dinah crying, they see her going through emotional stuff, and they are going to learn, they are going to be strong. Her daughters are beautiful. They're little, but Lisa is a good mom, and we truly appreciate, you know, she's not being like her mom. She broke a pattern.
Yes.
I'm breaking. I'm a pattern. I'm still in the learning process.
Of
It's
course,
very,
we all are.
it's very
We are.
difficult to see like their reactions. And one of the things that I made a comment to my dad about, because my sister, she gave me a lot to think about. Let's just put it that way. And it hurt, and I cried, and they were like, you know, what's wrong? And I just slapped the tears off my face and, you know, put a smile on my face and just said, you know, what do you want to do now? You know, just kind of like diverted, because you can just, these things you can't explain to them. The actions that some of these
They
Jehovah's
won't
Witnesses
understand.
do in their loving way, like in their way of love. And even my grandmother was like, you know, these righteous people, you know, are not right for what they do. And she's a Jehovah's Witness. Like, she's late, you know, almost in her 90s. So she was in the time that she wasn't gonna live this long. Like, the new system was supposed to already be here. It was and she said those comments like, this wasn't supposed to be the way it is. Like, I wasn't supposed to live this long, and my daughter wasn't supposed to die, you know, before me, and we weren't supposed to be in this system still. And it's just like hearing that when you know
You know,
more.
Dinah or Lisa, we're faced with, see, those who are being shunned are faced with the challenge of seeking love from the people that shun us, which, if you think about it, really doesn't make any sense, because they're the people that are unwilling to love us. So
It's not just that, though. It's the hate they have to carry that's not even theirs.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like to have to watch that and to, you know, physically see it. It's just triggers. Like, I'm doing well with it. You know, I'm not falling off the rails of my past life or anything, but it's just difficult to see, you know, watching when you know what you know.
Well, let me ask you this, and I'm not looking for any answer. If you weren't exposed to it from here, this point forward, would it hurt you? If you
What, to their toxins?
Exactly. If you weren't exposed to them, would it hurt you?
I think that it would affect how my children view how I treat the situation, because they have had a wonderful time with their pawpaw, you know? And it's like, I feel like my life was not their life. And as long as I keep them at eyes view, and, you know, they deserve to have happy memories. Just because I had a different life with these people doesn't mean that they can't have a few, you know, moments. And though it may, you know, be painful to me, the more that I look at these things in the face and say, no, thank you. This is today. And then it's, you know, I'll be stronger the next time. The more I do that, the stronger I get and the more confident I get. Now, over the past couple of days, I've felt pretty vulnerable and weak, but I'm coming out of it, and I'm getting, you know, I realize doing all the little steps that I'm supposed to do in therapy and the, you know, the wellness things, I'm doing all that stuff. So, but with my dad, I told him that, you see what my sister is doing, my children see this too. Like, you know, my children see how Jehovah's Witnesses act.
Mm-hmm.
And if your goal is to try to recruit my children at some point, this is what they see. This is the ugly that they see. And you ought to think about that and talk to your daughter about what example you're showing of a loving organization, since you are in a loving organization. And they can't see that. He thought about it. You can see the wheels turning, but at the same time, you're on that defense for the organization mode. You can't think like that, because that would tear up your whole ideals.
Well, your father's getting a chance to see you in your life with your children and your husband, and having a different life and being happy. So that has to say something to him. And the fact that you're still able to talk to your father and he talks to you, you never know. You never know how that's going to turn out.
Yeah. But I'm hanging in there, and I can't wait till Still Alive in 2025, because as many times as I try to unalive, I am still alive in 2025.
Yeah.
That theme couldn't be any better for me.
Yes. Well, we love you. We really love you, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing you guys too. Somebody gonna have to pick me up from the airport.
Yeah, Rick apparently has a shuttle.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, he did say something about that. Yep.
Yeah, let me just address that for a second. In fact, you did get a hold of me today, Dinah, and you were talking about Saturday night. Yeah, you do have a talk on Saturday night. Is that what you were asking today?
Yeah. I was trying to figure out when and what time, so I can put my stuff together.
I can tell you right now. Just give me 1 second here. Let's see. Let me just check this out here. Go back to the schedule. It's Saturday night. Okay, hold on 1 second.
Well, I learned real quick, losing a parent, whether it was a healthy parent or an unhealthy parent, knocks you off your feet for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe even harder when that relationship is so warped.
Toxic.
You have a lot of unsettled business.
Absolutely. That's the unresolved.
Yeah, it's hard to let that go. I know my husband, prior to Brian, he took his life, and it's the same type of loss with all the unresolved. You never have the answers, and that's when you have to go inside and look for them and know that you're enough and that the answers are there inside of you.
Yeah, and it was sad to hear some of the stuff my family said, and then one of them said, I didn't have worth, and I didn't find my worth until my 40s. And I said, well, that means I'm on track then. I got 2 years to go. I got time.
Heading in the right direction. You're sure.
That's right.
Taking charge of things.
That's right.
Dinah, you're coming on Friday. I'm going back to the schedule here. Come on Friday. You're speaking at 4:45.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
We're looking forward to that. Now, as far as you're coming in on the airliner, are you by plane?
Yeah, Southwest in the evening on Thursday evening.
What time is it coming in? Do you know?
Not sure.
We have a shuttle. We have three. I have a shuttle that's going to be going back and forth. One's in the afternoon at 3. Another one's going to be at 6, and another one's going to be at 8.
You want to say hi?
Sure.
Oh, this is my brother, guys. He was disfellowshipped.
You don't got to lead with that.
Well, I mean, that's the truth. I can't.
You got to put your camera on.
Oh, here we go.
Hi.
This is my brother.
Hi.
We call him Uncle Chris.
Hi there. How do you do? Hi, Donna's brother.
He was our first black sheep here.
I was the first out twice.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
You're the gold medalist. Gold medalist, yeah.
First out, twice removed.
That's right. No, he did. He got kicked out twice.
Cool. What y'all talking about tonight?
Still Alive 2025.
Oh, yeah?
Are you coming to the Still Alive, Chris?
I have not heard about it.
No,
Oh, well.
I haven't poked him about it.
Okay, well, you have to. It's a ex-Jehovah's Witness conference, meetup, convention.
Where's it at?
Party.
Boston.
Tewksbury.
Near Boston.
Nice. I just got back from Boston.
Yeah, we'd love to meet you.
Yeah, they didn't do him very good for this funeral situation. They said he was allowed to go to the Kingdom Hall, but family events he wasn't allowed.
Yeah, I pretty much set my standard with my dad. My dad was like, you can, he told me about it, and he's like, well, and I came back with him. I said, I'll come visit with the family after, but I'm not going to the Kingdom Hall. And he told me it wouldn't be a good idea to come see the family at their house, so I just told him I wasn't coming at all.
Yeah, and he told me that, and I just like, this is just not right. This is not normal. People don't act this way.
It's true.
I'm sorry they treated you that way, Chris.
Oh, it's okay. I've been out for 20 years, and I've got friends, and I've got some good friends in Alabama that I went to visit, and I've got good support outside. So I've been out long enough that I've dealt with it a little more emotionally. My sister here is kind of growing into her emotional recovery.
Mm-hmm. We have different, but he actually met with ExJW. Was it last week? 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've met a couple people in some of the groups, and there's a guy that lives close by here. His name's Kevin.
Nice.
Yeah.
So he's trying to share some support with them too. I know the guy the last person he saw, seemed to struggle.
I feel like his experience was worse than mine. His experience was his dad was more abusive, like an elder in the congregation, and would beat him for not going to the meetings, and much more abusive. I mean, our family was scolded us and gave us the disapproval parenting type for coercing us to go to meetings, but sounds like his dad was much more forceful and aggressive towards their family. Kind of felt bad for him.
Well, thank you for being there for Lisa. We definitely all need each other in this healing process, don't we?
Very true. Yeah, I try to encourage her to be positive and focus on the positive things. She's
yeah.
We'll move forward, not think about the past too much. We got to move forward.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're working on our triggers. Let's just put it that way. Oh, but yeah, he lives about an hour away from me, so we might steal him away once a week now.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So good that everyone came on. I truly appreciate this.
Did she tell you about her daughter and her bowling skills?
No.
She's got a 3-year-old who bowled 109.
109.
Oh my goodness.
Bowled 109.
That's
3-year-old.
She's got wow.
That's great.
Take lessons.
That's great.
Wow.
Well, we appreciate everyone coming on, and we're going to we appreciate Rick coming on. This is the first time we've had Rick on.
All you're doing.
And Barbara and Stephanie and Brian. Kev and Marissa, I know you didn't get a chance to say too much, but thank you for being here. And Richard and Dinah Lost and Chris.
Thank you for inviting us.
And Ruby. Ruby has an announcement.
Oh, yes. Thank you, everybody. And I never want to miss an opportunity to thank Barbara Anderson for all the work she's done in the community. She is the original OG ExJW. If it wasn't for Barbara, I would not be here either. So it has been such an honor to host Backstage. If it wasn't for Rick, if it wasn't for Barbara, Rami, Joe and Fran, and Vernon Shauna, this would not be possible. So I want to thank everybody involved in making this show and this event happen. My next announcement is the movie night on Discord that we will be having. I posted the link in the chat. If you are not already on Discord, once you click that link, you just have to join the server. And then we're going to be watching a movie night in the movie room, virtually all together. The movie that we'll be showing tonight is called The Dressmaker. I've never seen it before, so I have no clue what this movie is about. So we're going to find out together. So in about 5 minutes, I'll see you guys on Discord. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
too,
you.
Ruby.
Thank you, Ruby.
Say good night. We'll see each other at the at the convention.
Yes, we will. Thanks
And
everybody for coming on and supporting this.
so nice you all came together. Like Vern and Shauna would say and put forth, keep living.
Right.
Living your
Great
life
being with
love. That's
Is there,
right,
is there
everybody.
sorry to interrupt. Is there going to be a link sent for those that can't make it back there? We're out in California. Is there going to be a link?
Yeah, there'll be a link if you tune in. Well, actually, the best place to get the link. I've been doing some advertising on Facebook. Get on my Facebook page, Rick Farron Facebook, or on my YouTube channel. Just put Rick Farron 6 screens, and YouTube will come up, and there'll be some links in there. Or you can write me at jwworldnews@gmail.com, and I'll get you the link out. And we're going to be on actually 3 or 4 different platforms, but the best place to watch it will be on YouTube and Facebook. But send me jwworldnews@gmail.com. Anyone listening in tonight, I'll get you a link out. Yep.
Thanks so much, Rick.
Thank you.
Thank
Rick.
you all.
Thank you, Rick.
It's nice being with y'all here. Y'all.
Love you. Love you.
Thank
you all. Thank you.
Remember,
Y'all take care.
Thank you.
remember, thumbs up.
All right. Yeah.
Thumbs up.
We just
Oh.
want to wrap up here by thanking all the guests. Thank you to the moderators. We really appreciate you working behind the scenes. Thank you to Joe and Fran for once again being here for everybody. We can't wait till next week. So until then, everybody have a great week.
Thank
See
you,
you then.
Shauna.
Thank you, Shauna. Thank
All
you,
right.
Vern.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Shauna.